Yeah, can you guys see it on your end?
And we're live.
All right, we're live. Hold on, boys. There we are. The full crew packed into the studio right there. There we are.
Is it blurry on my end or is that your end?
You know, I want to say it might be on both of our ends because the bit rate, I don't know exactly what bit rate is, to be completely honest with you. Can we at least let's get a mic check on your guys' end? How are we doing over there in SPICKNSPAN studio?
Well, you look clear, but we look very. How's this? Better?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
You look good, but you're glitching out.
Sound good?
What'd you just do with the camera? What are you doing?
We're back.
Don't wiggle that. Don't wiggle that wire. Don't wiggle the wire.
Now we're back.
Okay.
How many times have you guys done this?
Yeah, I feel like you guys have upgraded every time I've come here, and this is a severe downgrade.
Well, the thing
I would say
he was coming back.
I would say severe downgrade is a very, very, very good way of.
See, his camera's filming his screen. That's why we look like dogs. That's why we look bad.
The best comment so far is they look like they're from an 80s home video.
Listen, everybody just needs to. What we need to do is everybody just needs to close their eyes and just listen. You know, do a little meditating, sit on it. I had to order an last minute external video little thing, which is what's propping you guys up right now. But I will say I did have a plan set up and it could still work, but I don't know if everybody I just don't know if everybody has the stomach to sit and see if I can import the video directly onto the computer. But it's a thing, we can do it, and I can try it, and I'm happy to try it. And we might just do it anyway. But anyhow,
people said more bit rate.
We need more bit rate?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is bit rate? Can we look it up?
It takes for you to eat something.
According to Ryan Moffat, who just either copy and pasted or just has it off the top of the head, it's how much data you send to YouTube for your stream. Higher number equals better quality, but requires better internet.
That's what I thought.
Because I've been here before and it's been busted.
Well, but he's running this.
I'm running it from up in the mountains, dude.
Yeah.
The internet I've done.
Is that an electrical box over there? Maybe if you go next to that thing behind you over your shoulder.
Over there. Yeah, that's where they start fires out here.
It looks glorious, actually. It looks very beautiful.
It's really beautiful up here, yeah. It's who's that guy sitting in the middle?
It's Ryan Greenspan. It says Greenspan on his jersey. At least he introduced himself as Ryan Greenspan when I got here. He hasn't taken his goggles off, so I'm not really sure who it is.
Yeah.
So somebody was telling me, Ryan, that you Skype can just go right into OBS.
Yeah, so can what are we on FaceTime? Watch, I can do it. If you guys want, we can. Why don't we do it? Why don't we just try it?
Let's test it out. Just run it from your computer here. Because I don't have the program that he has.
I ran out with the computer because I was in a rush. I just got back, hadn't seen my babies in weeks.
Did you leave on Tuesday?
I left right after the show on Tuesday. I had some headbands we had to ship out. We had some T-shirts.
Doing yard work out there or what, dude?
Dude,
on the range?
There's a rattlesnake skin that was underneath our tire that was bigger than Sloan.
I mean, if we need to fill time while you fix this, Ryan, I mean, I could just tell killing rattlesnake stories. I got a decent amount of those.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because I think we need to get the view of us.
Okay. All right. Watch this.
Actually visible.
Yeah, you guys, we can't see it, huh?
Yeah.
Watch this. Application capture. All right. Everybody hang. Everybody hang.
There's all the Pornhub tabs.
I closed all the tabs. I'm closing all the tabs. You guys tell a little story. Oh, here we go.
Oh, DQ, what up?
Here we go.
All right.
Wait a minute. How do I? Yeah.
Yeah, tell it.
I feel like it's my most creative rattlesnake kill story. I came home. I grew up on a canyon, so I had a lot of experience with rattlesnakes, and worked at a paintball field which had a shit ton of rattlesnakes too. So we had a 410 shotgun that it literally had snake charmer dremeled on the side of it, and a 357 Magnum it would use to kill rattlesnakes. But my most creative rattlesnake kill was I got.
Oh yeah. So in order to get the FaceTime thing working, we need to bring it over into from OBS. So the whole idea of having them talk and tell stories is not really going to work out because I need to pull them onto this screen. So let me get them back on there, and then we'll try this again. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can answer it on here. This is a fun learning experience for anybody who's trying to do OBS here in the future. So, you know what's kind of funny, as I realized is what we were doing, is I need to be able to pull you guys over here.
Into Ojai?
Yeah, I need to transport you guys. We need to be transporting.
You're a wizard, bro? Oliver, you're a wizard.
Oliver's a wizard.
That's into the ether and then magically
I
transport.
think we just
yourself.
jump into that painting.
Yeah. All right, put on some goggles.
All right, go ahead and tell the story again because we'll be listening to it, and we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. So keep going.
I think he's asking you to keep
All right, so let me finish this story off. So yeah, hot as hell that day. I go in to get a glass of water, and at the time when I was 17, my mom had 3 cats: Fat Cat, Cool Cat, and Stupid Cat. They had other names, but that's what we called them. Stupid Cat was outside, always getting into trouble. And sure enough, as I'm sipping a glass of water, thinking about how goddamn hot it is outside, I see Stupid Cat rear its head into the garden and pull out a rattlesnake. And I was like, oh, great. What else is home but me? So I run out into the front yard. I shoo the Stupid Cat away from the rattlesnake, and the cat that had the rattlesnake in its jaws drops down. Now, it's so hot that the snake is moving incredibly slow because, they're cold-blooded. So if it's nice, if it's too hot or too cold, they don't really like that, right? So the snake is now trying to get away, and it crawls underneath the car. So it's right underneath the car, and I'm like looking around for a shovel. Like, my dad normally has shovels on the side of the house, or like all around the house, so I cut its head off, or some weapon, something I do, because I don't want it to crawl into the bushes right there that are now 6 or 7 feet away. And I'm like, oh shit, how do I kill the snake? I can't run inside of the house to go get a machete or a shovel. I can't find a weapon. There's no broom. There's nothing. It's literally just me, the rattlesnake. The cat's now sniffing at the rattlesnake, and I'm like, fuck, what do I do? So I have the idea. I'm like, wait a second. The snake is right by the wheel. Oh, so I check my pockets real quick, and I have my keys. So I jump in the other side of the car and jump on over to the driver's side, start the engine up, and just back and forth, just as fast as I can get that huge-ass station wagon to go. Jump out, sure enough, flattened rattlesnake.
And the cat?
No, the cat was flat. As soon as I started trying, the cat ran, thank God. But, so that was my most creative kill on a rattlesnake, because that was literally the only thing I could possibly do to kill it.
Yeah. Creative Kill Award.
Creative Kill Award.
All right, did you use that 90 seconds to figure out our tech issues, Ryan? Or
well, yeah, so kinda. So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about how this works is I need to open up a screen in which I call you guys. So maybe we'll just join this in and then I'll have you hang up. But let me just join and see what happens. Right, so watch. We're joining this. Okay. Now on Mac. Did you switch? Can you guys hear me? Are you hearing me? Yeah. All right. Look at that. So now, okay, steer with me, everybody. This is gonna be fun because we're all doing it together. So you guys can see me. What are you looking at? Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting. All right. So you guys can see me. How are people sticking with us here? It's all right. It's all right. We're working with it. Okay. Now, hold on. How about now? Okay, we're cooking, right? Okay, hold on. They can't hear you, correct? Hold on, boys. Hold on, boys. All right, check, check, check. My audio went down. Why did my audio go down? Can they hear you?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, talk again, Maddie.
Vesicles 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. So the plan was, just so everybody's clear, we were gonna test this earlier, but you know, we don't really do that. All right. Allow. Isn't it funny that we didn't get it? So I can't see any of the. Okay, we can barely see them. They say. You can only hear Ryan. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. I know. So it's a weird thing where I have to like sit side saddle over here. Oh wait, how are you? What do you guys see on this thing? Okay, I see what you see. No. Your microphone is great. I need to change. Perfection takes time. That's right. Can you type that in? Because I don't think anybody can hear any of that. Hold on. Okay, working on that. Hold on. Blue mic. MacBook Pro microphone. So it should be pulling audio straight from FaceTime. Yeah, so that's the thing is like display, application, FaceTime, application capture, why? Check. Yeah, I don't know why the audio is yeah. Yeah, your audio, no, mine is not good. I'm looking at it right now. My audio is not good. Audio. No, you can't, you're not, no. USB. Check. I can hear you guys perfectly through my thing. Yeah. So I have it so that it's set so the next audio. Hold on. So let's Mac OS X desktop audio capture. How about now? Check. Oh wait, can you guys hear me? Anybody hear me? So you guys look really good, right? Well, no, okay. So, I know that your guys' audio is not good because, and mine's not even great. Like it's barely picking anything up for some reason. How about now? Nope. Yeah, this FaceTime said it's supposed to be FaceTime restart capture. So, window capture, control. Let's see, FaceTime. Did I just lose you guys? Nope. OBS, FaceTime window. All right. Method window. No, you guys sound great. I'm telling you. No, so the problem is I'm doing this OS X, OS. Oh, and you guys just changed how you look. That's pretty funny. All right. Well, this is fun. This is kind of fun. Definitely, slightly kind of, worrisome. Video capture device, maybe. Audio input capture. Let's try this one. Device, FaceTime. Oh, wait, no, we don't want that. Let's cancel that one out. Well, I'll tell you what. I appreciate everybody for sticking with us, but I think that this is also why we need to do why won't audio? Yeah, it's the only way to really capture audio is to make what bigger? I wonder if I can just join with you guys here. I know what we do. Dude, I got this. Wait, maybe not. So if I go here, is there a way to join? No, so join that. All right, start talking. Hold on. Start talking again.
Check.
Nope. Hold on. How do I make it come out of here? So we need to make sure, we need to get the audio. Bluetooth, no. Speaker. Talk again?
Check.
Wonder why it's not coming out of this one. So the...
Zoom call?
What's that?
There are 155 people waiting patiently.
Maybe a Zoom call?
No. I need to bring this back to the other way where you guys don't look as good.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless I can unless we put here we go. Hold on. Watch this. I've got it. I'm going to nope, that's not going to work.
Oh wait, they said the audio is good.
They can hear you?
Yeah. We hear them.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Now they just need more volume altogether.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Test. Test.
Oh no.
Nothing?
It's good.
The gremlins are gone.
I think we're good.
And they can hear you?
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's low, but we can hear them.
Testing 1, 2. We can't
my output is as loud as it gets.
It'll
I'm just trying to get it as close to us as
but it will break. It will just shut off when you move it.
No, it's
now.
Yeah, it's funny. Auxiliary audio 2, MacBook microphone, desktop audio 2. Nope. Yeah, we are.
Put the headphones back in, Ryan.
Do you want me to put the headphones back in?
That might help.
So it's really strange because it's pulling your audio out. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I think that when I took the headphones out, this is what worked the best. Can you guys now? You guys can hear me, but they're not going to be able to hear you guys. Yeah, I don't think desktop is them. Mic would be you. You should be able to have both in OBS. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure settings are a little messed up, but FaceTime could be encrypted not to allow audio to record to OBS. Yeah, no headphones. That's weird. So I'm looking at the mic setting here,
Yeah.
and it's pretty weak.
The Japanese are the Winston Steiner.
Japanese do literally every major brewery in the start of
Well, all right, we should just kind of get to talking about something and
all these big brands that are Japanese.
turn the game up. No, it's not the gain on their mic, it's the input. So what's happening is because if you guys can hear me, and I'm looking at how lousy.
So the Austrians.
I'm looking at how lousy the sound is right now, and what's happening is this thing's turned up all the way. My mic is turned up absolutely as high as it goes, but I believe that because
Also, like a decent. It's a pretty
that
handy
because
not disregarding that. I think it's a very good.
because there's audio coming out of my computer, which is what you guys are hearing, and for some reason it's not coming out of this little thing. It's muting the input,
Literally what I told Carl.
and so it's not really allowed. What is down mixing? I don't know. Device
Right,
channel.
no, but you're just talking to yourself at this point.
Yeah, I think they can hear you guys. It's just
Can you guys hear us in the chat? Can you sound off if you can hear us? We're getting Spicka back, so hopefully we can start rolling here. I think they can hear.
Dude, your sound is lousy. You sound perfectly normal shit.
Hear us. I think we're good. Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
shit.
Like,
all right.
or just keep talking to yourself.
No, I was just trying to talk because I'm looking at the audio channel and how low it is. So yeah, let's rip. Okay, cool guys. Hey, welcome to the show. We're about 25 minutes late. Thanks for everybody for sticking with it. I think that's just the power of Maddie and Oliver. If it was just Kyle and I, they would have been out of here way sooner. So I'm just gonna let you guys kick it. Oliver, what are you doing in town?
You cut off.
Apparently there's an echo. What just happened? Everyone can hear perfect, and now there's an echo. God damn it.
I didn't change anything. I have not changed anything. Kyle, are you changing things on? Don't change anything on your end.
I didn't change anything. I just came and sat
It
down.
literally went to go get water and came back.
Oh.
I mean, I could put it back on the.
Yeah, this is going well.
Like some sort of calling.
No, so I think that I think what's happening is it's looping the audio. It's like it's listening to itself, right?
Well, we got to fix the echo apparently because
What I'll do is I'll just go on YouTube right now.
Fine again.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Talk, Ryan.
Okay, how about me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think I might have just fixed it. Check.
All right. Yeah, it's good.
It's good now. Okay, so I just changed
Sweet baby Jesus.
echo gone. No more echo.
I
All
turned
right.
I turned this microphone off and put it at the computer.
All right. Well, there we go, everybody. We're here. Okay,
All right,
so
perfect.
26 minutes in. We're still with us. Maddie, Oliver, take it away. Save us, please.
Welcome to the next installment of the Spick and Span Show. Thank you guys for hanging in with some technical issues. The gremlins set in, but guess what? Fate has prevailed positively, and we are now here to have a vibrant paintball conversation, and it's all about you guys.
And don't forget to vote for Spick and Span as the best podcast of the year. If we get nominated.
Yeah, you know, hey,
And
look,
if
dude,
anyone out there
who
has
else
some
can
technical
think on the
expertise,
fly?
just sending a shout out to you. Maybe you can throw a little love Kyle and Ryan's way. But yeah, so we got a lot on the docket today to discuss. Obviously, we just came through an event. There's an ESPN show. We got Oliver Langen, Joust, Duel, HORMESIS. So many. Spicka, where should we start?
Well, generally, we would have already thanked our sponsors. We would have thanked everybody who supports the show. And Oliver, thank you big time for a couple of things. The Spick and Span bands, people love them, so
The headbands.
we appreciate that. That was really cool for you to do that. And also, thanks for whipping up those Team USA bands. I haven't seen them yet, but you're the man. Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm glad to help any way possible. We got some Spick and Span tank tops coming. They should be landed at the HORMESIS headquarters, so you'll have those any moment also. They said no air horn.
Yeah, I just saw that. I mean, that, like, yeah. Someone asked for the air horn, so I hit him with the air horn, and then now they don't want the air horn.
All right,
No
well,
worry.
let's go with what you got to share here, man.
mean, there's so many different ways. I mean, so where do you guys want to start? There's, again, lots to discuss. We have what just happened at the last event. Got a little bit of a break before the next one. ESPN show will be airing sometime in early August. I'm not sure. I'm going into the studio late next week to start post-production. I'm currently working in post-production right now.
Where's that at?
Where's the studio?
Yeah.
Here in San Diego.
Oh, it is.
So that's actually, thank God for technology, because
Are you guys want to lease our studio? We got a pretty good setup.
Yeah,
audio is usually our thing, but
I'll let the producers know. You guys, since the tech is nailed here, you guys should definitely charge a high rate for sure.
$50,000 a month, and Tuesdays are off limits.
Yeah, 100%. So now basically we have like 15 terabytes of media in the can because of all the GoPros and all the extra cameras. It's an absolutely gargantuan beast of a media project. We're going to do multiple cuts of the show. The 30-minute long one will air for sure. We're going to do an hour-long cut as well. And so I'm currently going through that final game with a fine-tooth comb to basically dissect every single shot, every single gunfight, every move, every bit of strike, and then producers, and then they're going to take all of that a huge chunk of clay and make that into as the most compelling TV show we possibly can. So it is a shit ton of work. But
yeah, it's funny. We last week's show, we had a bunch of people already complaining about what's going to happen when the ESPN show comes out, which is really funny because obviously everybody was hating on it. But I think,
first of all, everyone likes to, not everyone, but there's a vocal minority of people that will complain about everything. If Jesus Christ descended from the clouds and came back to earth, and that actually was a reality, there would be some portion of the population would be like, this guy's a fucking clown. Look at this guy. Who does he think he is? So like, we're just going to do the best job we possibly can. And, that's all you can do is what you can do with what you've been given and what you.
Is a little bit about, like, is it just one show? Is this like a beta testing for something bigger, or like, is it like they're going to come to every event?
So so it's not coming to every event. Who knows? We'll see. But it's our chance to get our foot in the door to try to show the world paintball. And so we had those 5-minute breaks in between points to do interviews.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5-minute break. Of a weekend. I mean, I could go into finer detail on that about the, just having to do 4 days of that with 11-hour days and make a TV show at the very end when you're done. It's like run a marathon and then, be your fastest at the very end and the best.
Hey, one of the challengings that a lot of people said that they were wondering about was, how did you guys handle the 5-minute break, and like, how was it going with a first-time co-host? I will say, Maddie, that guy, you have an amazing voice, like straight up a beautiful sent from heaven angel's voice. But that dude,
yeah, he's got
that dude,
voice.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, Evan's great, man. Evan was a pro. So Evan's he started out in like college football, I believe, and then they realized how amazing of a voice he had. So then he started doing basketball and football, and he's also done some of the Ocho stuff to do this project. Which at first, bringing somebody, like, it's good to have a guy that's a professional announcer that does have an amazing voice, but it's good in numerous ways. One, he's going to be asking me questions that force me to dissect and elaborate upon the finer points of the game, in both complicated but also simplistic ways for a general audience. Because at the end of the day, that's is to put it in front of people, and hopefully they're entertained, educated, and intrigued, so they will hopefully want to go play. One, two. Also want to consume it as an entertainment product. I was a little scared in some of those prelim matches that we got where we got 3-point games. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, if we get a 3-point game, like, man, this is going to be difficult because, and as I've said on this show, every show I want, I've been, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, just if the casual world is going to consume paintball, it's not want to consume it. Like, when they consume it, are they entertained? That's it. You know, are we putting asses in seats because it's interesting and entertaining, or are we not? You know, so that's, at the end of the day, part of the equation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like the biggest step in that we've had in a long time. For sure, thankfully we got an aftershock Russians final rather than a X Factor damage match.
Well, yeah, because with the way that Red Legion was playing, it didn't matter if they lost bodies or not. They're going forward. They were an entertaining team to watch. So when they made it to Sunday, you know, again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I really don't necessarily care. I mean, yes, I love you guys, and I know Kyle and a lot of the Daisy. Like, I have friends in the league, guys that I've known forever. I mean, Yosh Rao officiated my wedding, dude. Like, Dynasty are some of my best friends on earth. You guys, if you win or lose, I don't really have a dog in that fight, you know. I just so the overarching desire for me always is that we're putting an entertaining product, a fascinating, visceral, entertaining product out to the world. That's the most important. That's the biggest premium we could possibly focus on. Which is why anytime I'm discussing anything with the powers that be, I'm always trying to put, you know, that into, you know, putting that foot forward. Like, well, how in fact put our #GrowPaintball hats on. That's a big part of it, you know. So I am happy that it ended up we did have a lot of points played. I mean, selfishly, I wish there may be a little bit of arguing in that final match, but yeah. So we do have some clay to mold, because at the end of the day, like, and I've heard this multiple times talking to different people in the regular world of creating entertainment sports content, is that, you know, that a lot of times they'll talk to their higher ups before they dip their toes in. You know, like, oh, we want to see something a little bit more out of paintball before we put any money into it, before we put our attention to this, or, you know, that sort of thing. So the fact that we're going to be, you know, approaching a bigger audience, and we have a chance to create this show, you know, to mold the clay, because what happened. So now we have to, you know, and I've seen, dudes, I mean, it's, you know, again, people will fucking bitch about literally anything. I mean, someone could, you know, hand you, you know, go win the lottery, people like, I gotta pay taxes on this, you know, it's like, but it's like, yeah, but yeah, sure. We had to wait 25 minutes, but now we get a good combo. Anyway, but the point is that, oh, why are they putting GoPros on their heads? Oh, you know, affect the game. And I'm like, yeah, sure, it will, but
Everyone's wearing them.
That footage was dope, dude. Yeah. Like, that's gonna be.
Did you get to see any of that?
Yeah, I saw some of it already. It's epic, dude. It literally looks like Call of Duty first-person shooter. I mean, everyone's probably seen GoPro footage at this point in time. You know, people that have done it.
A lot of airsoft stuff.
Yeah, so it's dope. It's gonna be really cool. I mean, we're gonna make it as cool as we possibly can. I mean, bro, trust me. Do you think I want 5-minute breaks where I have to sit there and explain, like, what a snapshot is for, you know, 5 minutes?
But that's not how it's not gonna. There's not gonna be a 5-minute break. I was trying to explain this, like, how much time, like mathematically.
No, the 5-minute.
It can't happen in the ESPN show. So everybody, you just don't worry about it. We mentioned the runtime of the show, 23-24 minutes, like, multiple times on the show, but still people were struggling to do the math on how many points were played, how many 5-minute breaks. It just. Don't worry about those 5-minute breaks that you guys witnessed there. They're going to make it exciting, and it's going to be fun. Trust us.
Yeah, so, you know, it was a 7-4 match. That's what we have to work with. And in those 5 minutes, it was giving the crew, the television crew, the production crew that creates TV content, time to, you know, get more in-depth interviews with the people that were just playing that will then thread into the show. So, yes, of course, when we go to it's because essentially it's a 30-minute show, which is 22 minutes of content, and then we're going to try to, you know, make the 22-minute long show, and then we're also going to do a 44-minute long cut, and then, yeah, so it's like that. Nice. There's not going to be a 5-minute break in between points in the show. Like, that's just not going to happen. You know, it'll be instantaneous, you know, or it will either go right into the next point, unless there was some amazing interview with J-Rab or
it's like watching that show Drive to Survive of a Formula One race.
Yeah.
Like they show maybe a couple highlights.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 7 minutes.
Through the field of paintball content that happened in those moments, and just most juicy morsels, and then we're going to put all that together in the most entertaining format possible, and then show that to the world, you know, and hopefully it will be perceived and it'll be entertaining enough that, you know, that then, because this will be something that then other people can take
because there's at this point in time we're getting older, man, and now we've had a lot of people that touch base in the paintball world and were a big part of it at some point in time, and then now they're in big, and I remember saying this, like, or thinking this, like, I've had I can't remember what shows it was or back in the day, but I was talking to them like, dude, eventually we're gonna reach a point, and I don't know how long it's gonna take, but dudes are gonna be in their 40s and they will play tournament paintball back when they were like 22, and now they're gonna be a producer at Fox or whatever, and they're gonna be like, all right, I got an idea, paintball,
that's true.
So we're getting there, and like, because people are like, oh, why don't these big companies sponsor us and this and that, and like almost every single mate, and Ryan, you can maybe speak to this too, but a lot of, it's not all of them, but a lot of the instances of like a bigger outside company coming in to sponsor a paintball team was like a paintball guy going like, hey, you work at whatever, and then that's how that hookup happens. Anyway, that's how the world works. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do our due diligence to make the most entertaining show possible, and hopefully something positive will come of it. I mean, I got into paintball by seeing it on TV years ago, and who knows, maybe the next Kyle Spicka will watch this show and be like I was in 1993 and go, oh, holy shit, paintball, what is that? Dude, this is, like, where was this been all my life?
I just changed the mic back to this. If they're not hitting, if they're not hearing echo, then it's better because I just put it back on the nice mic.
So what's great is everybody has everything turned up to the absolute max. So I have this like little RC car, when you see like those old RC car things where it's like green, yellow, red, and like as the mic is booming, the audio is working better and better. That thing is just bouncing around. So when I hit the air horn and we were in like the high yellows, I mean, everybody right now is at like negative 40 decibels, I think, right now. And so when I hit the air horn, it went up at like almost 1 decibel, so blew everybody's ears out. And I started moving. I've got this external speaker now, and for some reason, the audio is not just the audio input on the MacBook is not great, because obviously.
That was so.
Yeah. So anyway, we got some better mics working, at least on your guys' side, and I'm getting absolutely torched by bugs, but let's just keep it rolling.
So before we get into like the thick of all this, of the tournament, and then some stuff that Oliver brought up to me earlier today, wanted to talk about, just a couple small things I saw like this week. One, so Damien left Ironman, I guess. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back to the newbies, which I guess he just wasn't feeling it or something.
Hey,
maybe
Maddie, what do you think about the Ironman going 4-0 and then 0-4? How do you is there an explanation for that? Is it preparation? A lack of preparation? What exactly do you attribute to that? They went, thankfully they did well on that Lone Star, because I mean they took 20th place.
Oh, so they went 14th, 3rd, 20th. So I think, and I talked to Shane a little bit about this. I talked to Henry Sense about this. I mean, if you look at it from a personnel and a play standpoint, and I'm not putting all the faults on Henry Sense and Stephen O'Mara, but O'Mara and Sense played their ass. And that roster is relatively deep now. Same with Tom Guest. And then if we go to what happened in their 4 losses, I mean, they went 0-4, negative 16 at Atlantic City. That's bad. Dead last. So, but they came out of 3rd. So I think that there's a couple things there. One, they had some stars get shut down, and that's going to happen. I mean, anyone that's like, if you're playing Shock and Parrish is getting shut down, obviously they got, a lot of good dudes on that team, but, Parrish goes off on the D side, they're going to do well. If you shut Parrish down, same with Karslev right now for Legion. You shut Karslev down, you're going to be able to effectively fight against them, or shut Malloy down. Mm-hmm. So if you can shut down Henry Sense, Stephen O'Mara, and Tom Guest, and they're getting the lion's share of the spins, which is kind of what was happening. Like, we weren't really saying, those 3 names very much in a positive light. It's like, oh, Tom Guest got sweet spotted off the break because he was playing the Can of Death a lot. Anyway, so I think that, and then also you're coming off a moment where you're playing on house money. It's like you go to the casino, you go up $1,000, you get a little loose because now you're playing with that extra money. You got that, $1-2 grand you just took from the house, it's like, oh, dude, you're going to start making ridiculous bets.
Yeah.
You know, so I think mentally they're probably using the metaphor playing on house money. And then the fact that some of their, you know, their emerging stars were getting shut down. And then, you know, and then it's just, that field was really hard to play when you're constantly down bodies. So I think that's the simple explanation.
I mean, I think too, a big part of it this year, you know, I've been like kind of reluctant to talk about it because I feel like I have an upper hand with like understanding it, but obviously it hasn't reflected with our performance either. But I think everyone's like starting to realize it, and kind of will go to what we were talking about. But like, I think the strategy is changing a lot with the way the fields are set up. So for some teams, I mean, maybe in Ironman's case, like not spending enough time like learning the field because nobody got to practice on it. That probably plays a factor. But I think a lot of it is really just the way that the fields are designed now. It's not just like survive solely the whole time, because if you try to keep all 5 guys alive every point and do the same shit, then you're set for failure, because like you need to be willing to lose points and willing to lose players in order to win right now. I think like A-Rod was a good example of that. He played those blind zones. Ryan, you played those blind zones a little bit, like guys that were willing to stand in that open channel on the Dorito side. And like, if you can see if guys are going to shoot back at you or if not, and if they're not shooting back at you and you get to stand there and tee off on them, then you have a huge advantage. Yeah, sometimes you're going to get shot. Or on the last layout, Malloy would just go down that snake, sometimes with like reckless abandonment, and every like 5 points, maybe someone comes out and catches him on the tape. But those other 4 points, he's probably going to win the point.
Well, if you look at it where you have, say, 7 points to play, I'm just using that as like an average number. And I think that offense is now at a premium, because look at how Legion just won these last 2 events.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they lose a body on the break, still playing on their toes.
Yeah.
Lose 2 bodies on the break, they're still playing on, as in going forward, not on their heels. You know, like they're playing aggressive. You know, and I feel that you have to have both options in the bag. You have to be a team that can play controlled if you go up 2-3 points, you have to take a little ground and then be able to, you know the zones.
Yeah.
But you can't do that from the back typically. You can't just go pocket and, 4 in the back, whatever, 1 up the middle. You need to take a little bit of ground. So teams that, like, if you look at Dynasty, look at Damage, Legion, those are teams that have won tournaments in the past couple years. And even Heat, like Heat's been incredibly consistent. Yeah, they're very frustrated because it's been a couple years since they won a tournament, but they're 2nd overall right now. They've had 3 fifth places in a row, but they have both offense and defense in the bag. If you can't play fast and you can't play slightly slow, and I'm not saying hard or pocket, hardcore, zone it up defense, but where you take a couple positions and then play that zone game, play that slower point. It's not going to happen, dude. Yeah. And also, if you look at the way like Legion was doing, now being hypercritical of, like, literally, I'm going, like, I the first 5 points of my notes to give to the producers for this TV show is 2,000 words long for 5 points. Like, it's every single gunfight, every single everything, like who's playing, the strategy, where they went, who was shooting what direction, 2,000 words in 5 points, so it's how they kind of are, and the principle and the way they played that last game is how they played every single game. Yeah. The way they're risking things, the way they kind of change up, but even when they go pocket, they're still punching, depending on the layout, so they still would send Malloy essentially to the wedge almost every single time. They're still, Karslev would occasionally cut inside, whatever. I can talk about this because I've been staring at these moves, but forever. I don't want to cannibalize the whole shit. Right now, if you intend to win tournaments, you have to have both. You have to be able to play offense and when I say defense, I mean defense with a sprinkle of offense in it. If you cannot do those 2 things on a regular basis, you're not going to be in the finals. Hurricanes made it to the finals in Vegas by being able to do that. Dynasty has been able to win tournament after tournament, half the tournaments, a little bit less now, since the late 2020, because they have both of those very specific, game plans and mentality. Mm-hmm. It's not just game mentality. And you're in the scramble and you got to audible constantly, like then game plan's out the fucking window. But the principle is the same of how that is played. Sure. So that's how paintball tournaments are won right now.
Yeah.
And I will argue that with anybody.
Dude, it's been like this though, Matty.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This is what's lame if you ask me, because I'm a viewer now, not a player. It's like finally the last couple events have been exciting to watch because it's been aggressive. Yeah. It's going back to that, and you've always had to have that, both those. You have to know when to play defensive, and you have to know when you play offensive, you know? And, like, I love Russian Legion now because it's finally an exciting game to play again, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe the fields do help. I do think that's a factor too, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, to also circle back to the Ironmen, I think that they're an aggressive team and they don't have the other aspect, and they're also a new team.
That's a good point.
You know? So, you know, they have to get more balance. And, you know, honestly, some days you have good players. Like, so luckily it was a weekend where you got a 2-for-1, you know?
Totally.
But, like, you know, so I don't think the Ironmen are good. I think they had a good weekend one weekend, you know, and now they're back to kind of where they are, you know?
Well, to speak on what you were saying, the Ironmen are an aggressive team, but one of the reasons they did well at the Lone Star Major, you know, the 2 fucking events that we had, or two weekends separated one month and a half, but is because Tom Guest and Henry Sense were so good at shooting bodies, winning gunfights, and controlling.
He was like one of the first guys I've seen for a long time come through the center and actually do business.
But that's the thing, is that you had, because Guest was throwing blows too, but he was also controlling zones and winning gunfights. Same with Henry Sense. So
and knowing when to switch.
And knowing when to switch pace. Exactly, that's perfect. Knowing when to switch pace. So that's the meta, as you know, the kids say these days. Moving forward. Now again, we'll see, but guaranteed, man. Like, I had a long conversation with James and our at the beginning of the year, so we're going to continue to see these types of layouts.
Yeah,
we're not going to
super dynamic.
Because paintball did get very frustrating. If we go back to the PSP days, this was incredibly frustrating for me at the time, because not only did we had layouts that were being made that you could play defense on, like hardcore defense. I mean, I think it was MAO 2010 or 11 maybe, and the game plans devolved at the end of the game. I think Dynasty might have. I can't remember.
It was us and out how they cracked the code on. They did the strange ball. They finally put it all together, and we didn't have an answer for it.
But it was the most. I'll tell you from my point of view. It was so boring. By the end of the tournament, it was doubling up the back center, doubling up the bunker right next to it, risking one body up the middle, which wasn't a risk. It was 5 alive, and literally, and it was the most boring tournament I've ever seen, and that's why it sticks in my mind. And I remember after, you know, headset, and I was like, well, that was the most fucking boring tournament I've ever watched in my entire life. I hope that never happens.
But that was the moment where it changed, where everybody moved into that style of play because it was smarter, and then people could yield wins from that. And, you know, there was a specific team, Damage, who won a few in a row doing that, and then more people kind of caught on to it. But before that, prior to that, Dynasty was a very aggressive team, and I still would say Dynasty is aggressive. They're not as aggressive, I don't think. I think aggressive. They don't really have the other thing, you know. They don't have that defense, and now you're finally seeing Russians coming out of nowhere, and they're full aggression. Yeah, and nobody can really keep up with that at the moment. It 100%. Seems like, because it's almost like we forgot how to be aggressive, you know.
Well, it was a shock to me if we go to the Aftermath X Factor game. So the Russians' mentality is, we want to play a lot of points against you because we think we're better than you.
I like that mentality.
And so if we play 10 points, decent chance 6. So they're going to try to ramp that up. And now it's also a gutsy play call because they only have 5 dudes. Once they go to the bench, the skill and experience gets drastically lessened. And that's just the truth, dude. Like, their starting 5 is, except for, again, Karslev. Karslev's amazing, but Karslev's not a first ballot Hall of Famer yet. If he does this for another couple years, he will be. Every other one of those dudes is going to be, as soon as I get to vote on that, they're going to be first ballot Hall of Fame. You know, like, I can't vote. I not vote for those dudes. Anyway, that's their starting 5, all essentially Hall of Famers. So, but if someone tweaks an ankle or something and they got to go with one of their other dudes that played 5 points, like they play like 58 points or something like that weekend. for their starters, and their next highest guy was like 5 points.
Yeah.
You know, so but anyway, but that's again, that's the meta right now. That's what's happening. So you can either do that or you cannot. I promise you, when we go to Chicago, the next event, it's probably going to be a pretty aggressive layout.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to watch boring paintball. That does not put asses in seats for ghost sports. That's not going to entertain the general public. No one wants to fucking watch a 2-1 game. This is just the way it is, dude. You know, like yeah, and this is how it should be.
So it should be.
You know, so when we go to so it was X Factor and Aftermath. And Aftermath is really trying to slow things down these days.
That goes back.
Great.
You do anything, Ryan?
No. Microphone. Check. I don't know. Ooh. All right, stop. Start talking again.
Check.
Can you guys hear?
Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe it's this mic.
No, nothing's changed. It's scuffed right now, Ryan. It could
Oh,
go
it's
away.
gone?
It's gone.
Mario Trujillo's gone.
I think when you whacked it, just
Okay.
don't. Yeah, let's.
I changed the microphone back to the computer again, but
No,
It's probably
go
gonna
back.
be more
Go back
quiet.
to the one. Okay, everybody says it's good.
All right, so this is a good step for paintball to have more aggressive,
I couldn't agree more.
Matches.
I couldn't agree
think
more.
so too.
You know,
I
that's
absolutely, because you get to play
that's
more
what it needs to
points.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even thinking that, I even told Skinny Kevin this a while ago. I was like, why don't we just set 5 guys up who are super defensive pocket, and let's just fight them doing that, and let's see who actually wins at the end of it all, right? Because, I remember we used
like
to
in
play...
comebacks, like how teams come back by pressing and they get
Yes,
Right,
Yes.
and so that's what Bar used to do. We'd play Impact, and we'd be beating them, and then he'd press it, and I'm like, why'd he do that? And then he did it again, and then he did it again, and then all of a sudden, it would switch, and I'm like, wait, how are they back in this? We were just whomping them.
Dynasty used to. We were. I remember one time we were playing you guys, with excessive, and we were up like points at halftime. This is back in the day. No, you guys won. Don't worry, Oliver. You were still the hero.
Okay.
But we were up like an insane amount of points at halftime. I kept telling everyone, I'm like, hey, because everyone's high-fiving, like we won the game, and I'm like, dude, hey, this is like, let's not start patting each other on the back quite yet. And sure enough, you guys came back to beat us, and how'd you do it? Just running right at us. And
Yeah, but that would be an interesting thing, right? And I think that's what you said the Russians are doing. Like points, we're probably going to beat you 6. Instead of it just being those close games and being so afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And then making those lame ass.
And I'm with you 100%, because again, when we do, because everyone's always like, when everyone's like, oh, grow the game. I'm like, look, I'll watch a 2-1 battle. I love paintball. I've been watching this for 30 years now. I'm playing it, but so I don't mind watching a game where it's like it's a tactical battle. Like I don't want because I'm not a jiu-jitsu master practitioner, but I know enough about it to know what's happening, and that's interesting. Whereas I'll bring some casual friends into a UFC watch party, and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, this is naked man wrestling. This is boring. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know what's happening. So they're just hugging each other on the ground. I'm like, oh yeah, but see, he grabbed his elbow and he's positioning his arm so he can do this, and he's like, so that's
It's kind of like a featherweight boxing match where there's just pumping, and then but when they hit, they hit
but
hard.
that's the one caveat for the heavyweights, right? Like, yeah, watching a heavyweight fight is in a lot of ways not as purely entertaining with the speed that a featherweight will throw punches at, but the featherweights will beat each other to hamburger meat, but they weigh 145 pounds,
Right.
So it's hard for them to knock each other out. The heavyweights, get a dude who's 245 pounds, like they're not throwing as many punches, but at any given time, one of those dudes is leaving in a stretcher, one of those is getting 30 seconds convulsing on the ground, and that's what's at stake.
Yeah.
We don't have that in paintball. We don't have that.
No, but then we do kind of when it's Dynasty versus Damage, and it's a
No,
super
no one's
smart
getting
field.
knocked unconscious.
But what I'm
That's
saying is that it's a metaphor. It's like Dynasty playing Damage in that point where it's super slow and tactful, and nobody's making any type of mistake.
It's the theory is like a heavyweight boxing match. Okay, in terms of the bulkiness in the minds that are at play in it. Whereas when it's like, you know, this younger team versus this younger team, and they're just thrashing each other.
But going to a general audience, when you're watching a baseball game, football, race, like you're watching car racing, Formula One, NASCAR, at any time there could be a cataclysmic crash that takes someone's life. When you're watching the UFC, half those dudes are going to the hospital, or those people, because the girls are pretty badass too. Half those people are going to the hospital at the end of the night. Okay, sometimes the winners. We don't have that in paintball, so we have to make it extra entertaining, because like no one's hitting a baseball 550 feet.
You can make it WWF. Okay, so here's a for you. Are the best team right now, right?
100%.
Okay, yeah. Right. So are the Russians now? Who is it? It's Kirill. It's Sergey.
Yes.
Sergey. Rab.
Malloy. You got Malloy, J. Rab, Kirill, Karslev, and Sergey. Yeah.
Okay, so is that team better than the Russians was 10 years ago?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think so.
But the Russians 10 years ago was Malloy, was Fedorov, was Mishka, was
now they're all they have less.
You think they're better now or worse?
I know. I think they're better now.
No way. Do you think Fedorov is a better player now than he was 10 years ago?
Well,
Fedorov 10 years ago was better, but I think that Malloy's always
Malloy was equally as good 10 years ago.
No. He's
dude,
on
Malloy
right now.
Malloy's never been better. To be honest, like I don't.
You think that Malloy's better now than 10 years ago?
I think Malloy might be one of the best.
He was super good 10 years ago.
Bro, I watched all those games too, and I'm trying not to. I mean, even look at some of the dynasty guys. Like Ryan's been a phenom since he came up, but if you look at how well he played in his 39th year, you could stack those performances up with the moves that he made and the timing that he has. The thing of paintball is that even if you lost a half step of speed and you're 5 or 10 pounds heavier, like what you gain with this experience and the timing and all that, like paintball pays dividends for experience and timing. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, which is because you can look at the sizes of dudes that play. So play is still tiny and thin and fast. But now he has 20 years of experience, so he's even more. He's better. He's a master swordsman. He's a master gunfighter now. You know, so he was a master back then, but the level was here. Everyone else's level was there too, but he's been. You know, it's like I don't know if you heard this before, but the New York Extreme guys gave Malloy a nickname, and the nickname was the Bar, as in he's the bar, and that's where we're trying to get to. Like it doesn't get better than him when he's on.
Yeah, I mean, Rab said something like, "Was one point he will attack." Down, and then he sees Malloy, he's going to the snake every single point, and he wasn't even breathing hard. He's like, I'm not gonna ask for the fucking break.
Yeah. It was so funny. There was like one point where J-Rab pulled off a 2-on-1 against Damage, right? And I was like, yeah, like cheering from the Go Sports, like yeah. And then like Rab comes into the pit, and like usually when you win a 2-on-1, like your teammates are like, yeah, bro, like all those guys were like, they just looked at him, you know. He didn't even get one high five, and I'm like.
The same thing. I even said that like during the webcast because at one point, like I must have saw the same thing because we cut into the pits and he comes in, he's the hero, and he did this. It was a couple times where J-Rob was the hero, like saving like their ass on a point. And he comes in and he goes like right up to the coach. He's like, "Oh, I want to do this," and the coach is like, "Do it faster, do this or something like that," and no one's patting him on the back. And I'm like, dude, these dudes are like, there's stoicism, and I appreciate stoicism, but like, there's another level of stoicism where you gotta like. It was, yeah, I agree with you on that. Whatever, it's working, but Jesus, yeah, I was like, these dudes are cold-blooded, man. Like, yeah.
I do think though, like, man, maybe not. There's two things. One, I think that every like 10 years we see something like new and playing paintball. And maybe it was like before it was like running and shooting. People are getting a little bit faster with their moves, but I think right now too is like everyone has to be a dude. At a way fast, like it's fast forward.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the same gameplay, but it's in a way faster pace.
I think that what's interesting, I agree with you 100%. But what I think is the differentiating factor is that back when Malloy was doing those things 10 years ago, there weren't as many good teams. If you look at let's just go and look at Red Legion's an outlier, 3rd, 1st. Heat an outlier, 5th. X Factor 8th, 2nd, 6th. Dynasty 1st, 14th. 4th, 2nd is their overall placings. Impact 6th, 15th, 3rd. Hurricane 2nd, 13th, 12th. Damage 13th, 6th, 7th. you get the trend here, right?
It's the layouts.
The trend is that paintball's as hard as it's ever been.
Yeah.
You look at like a team like the Bears that has made Bears great, dude. You know, but I would like, if you're a casual fan, name me the 5 starters.
Yeah.
You know, like probably not going to be able to do it. You know,
And
so
that Hinman's coaching them now too. That was another thing.
Yeah.
That was an announcement that we wanted to make.
But yeah. Anyway, the point is that it's harder now than it's ever been. The parity in the league is ridiculous. I mean, anyone could kind of beat anybody. You know, I mean, if you look at the bottom of the barrel right now, it's New York Extreme, and they were a top 4 team last year. Next after that is Uprising, which is they're notorious for being able to beat different teams now, and they're working really hard. Notorious lost every game. But then the MO Kings, so that's the bottom 4 teams right now, but those teams have been able to beat other teams, you know, like decent teams.
Yeah.
Like that's the bottom 4 teams right now. So, and then you look at like Blast Camp. I mean, Blast Camp sitting at 15th overall. That's a team that couldn't win a semi-pro event last year, and they're not in fear of relegation right now. We'll see in the next 2 events, but it would take Blast Camp taking 20th, like for them to get down there a little bit. Maybe. Point is that when you look at these outlier events for the best teams and some of the best teams in the world, teams that are proven with their rosters right the second to be able to win events, it's incredibly difficult and very treacherous here in the pro division, which again goes to entertainment. That's interesting. You know, when it's always going to be the same teams winning all the time, and I know Dynasty has kind of been winning a lot in the past couple of years, you know, but Dynasty's sitting at 4th place right now. You know,
Dynasty had one bad week. That's thing. Like Dynasty's still probably going to win the series. They're probably going to win a couple more events.
Well, that makes it an interesting story, because if Dynasty is going to win the series, that means Legion has to blow out at some point.
Yeah, but Legion,
and then Dynasty has to win the
Legion's
next
hot
2.
right now. Legion hasn't won a tournament since this weekend for like 10 years.
5 years.
Legion is one bad meal, like one bad Chipotle meal away from not making it to Sunday, because they're riding those 5 guys so hard. Like, hey guys, let's get some sushi tonight. Like, they're like,
was your excuse?
What's that?
I don't get the joke.
Well, every now and then you get a bad Chipotle meal and you're shit. And
and then the other 99 are really good.
Yeah, you're shitting your pants,
and
you can't perform. Can you imagine Malloy and/or J-Rab trying to turn in that type of performance, and they got the runs, or they like twisted their ankle, or they like just their shoulders a little sore.
They got a two events in one weekend, like, you know, and they had an awesome weekend. Okay. J-Rab said it. I'm not going to take it away from them, but I'm saying that's just amazing. But if you didn't win in Texas,
if Legion wants to have a run, I'm gonna say this out, and if Legion, if your management is listening, this is some free advice for you guys. But if Legion wants to have a really good next like 3 years, protect your starting 5 at all costs, pay them whatever they want, and go after another star. Go after one more guy. It will put more pressure on that starting 5 to play as best as they possibly can. Get another, probably a 2, a 1. Get a guy that can play the 1 or the 2, because that'll give him 6. Because, and this is no joke. Like, again, and I'm not, we have to call it like it is what
Rob
it is.
said this on the last show.
It is what
if one of those guys is down, they don't win the tournament.
Well, that's,
or both.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, nothing against these divisional guys that are trying to, you know, cut their teeth on that team. But there is like, here's where their starting 5 is, and here's where everyone else is on that roster. It's just, again, like maybe one day they'll be there. We're talking about dudes that have 15 years of experience, dudes that have won before, dudes that are getting paid to, like, guys, right? The next guy, it's not even close as far as experience and stuff. Yeah. It's not close. So if they get one more guy, then it won't be a bad Chipotle meal or, you know, or a twist of the ankle that costs them the tournament.
The one thing that
it costs them $60,000 a year, but, you know, whatever.
I think the difference of the Russians versus probably, you know, I don't know, probably every other team on the list is they're grinding as if they were grinding like 20 ago.
Well,
those guys better. Like those guys probably play the most paintball out of every team there, besides maybe Fit. You know, Fit is probably in trajectory to be the next Dynasty. You know, like they're doing exactly what we did, and they're doing awesome.
Yeah, Fit's a cool story, man. I mean, they keep going. They're like 12th, 11th. They're right on the precipice. It is, if you're a Blast Camp fan, even though Blast Camp's been doing a little bit of this. Blast Camp did make a Sunday if it hasn't.
Yeah, but Black Camp still doesn't beat them, you know? So it's like, dude, right now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, you won. Dynasty had a little bit of a stumble. The top four is there. You know, like, who cares about the end of the guys, you know? Like, it's going to be – what's going to matter is, yes, the next couple events are what's going to matter. And I will say it's always hard. This event is like one of those – the fourth event is always one of the hardest events, right, Rye? It's like, you know, you've been playing a year. That's when, like, a bad team sneaks up and wins, right? But then there's World Cup, you know? And that's when all the better teams, you know, usually perform, right? So, you know, I'd be surprised to see Legion win the next event because, you know, they just – I mean, maybe, but, you know, they just crushed it. And then now it's like, you know, you got to keep going, and you just get tired at this point of the year.
Well, I mean, Legion had they're not a juggernaut that's unbeatable, man. I mean, you know, it's they defeated games in Texas, including the Thursday performance. They won every single game. I mean, they're plus minus, dude. I mean, Legion went 46 points for, 17 against. They finished with a plus 29.
Dude, they were the best team to watch, and they were the most exciting team to watch. And you know, I'm not rooting for them, but like I was excited watching them.
The past two events, Legion has a plus 49 on the field.
What I think that
plus
this
40,
should be,
dude.
Yes,
the other opponents have scored on through two events.
So what I'm suggesting, if anybody's listening, and if Dynasty wants to even listen to this, Diesel, play as many points as you can and be the better team, just like Russian Legion's thinking, and get those really freaking aggressive points, whether you lose them in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and come back out and play more again. Dynasty's deep. Like, Dynasty could do that. Dynasty has chosen to play. They were on another level of playing for a while. But I believe if Dynasty wanted to do that way, they'd probably have more fun, and they'd probably do even better than Russian Legion. Well, and probably Impact would do that. X Factor would probably do that, and Heat would probably do
starting to do that too.
And Impact played pretty good too.
They did. They were one of the best. They looked so good in the prelims.
Yeah. Well,
the two, Legion and Impact looked the best in the prelims, and so kind of sad that they
too as well.
Yes, those three teams. But Impact was, I mean, but they ended up only. I mean, Impact only ended up plus 10 overall. But they just looked.
But they lost the Russians, right?
But they were fine. They lost to Legion, but only by one. That was a really close game. So that was a grinder, and with the way those teams looked, I would have had to give the advantage to Legion. But yeah, Impact just, again, they have chips on their shoulders because they missed their first Sunday in 14 years. So yeah, but it was.
But they haven't won in what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
No, they won 2 years. They won 2 in a row. Third event to fourth event, and then they took a second place at World Cup. I mean, they just haven't been like a force. But
they haven't been a force since you guys left them. You, Mouse, Rab. That was when Impact was a force.
Yeah, even before I got there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we kind of think it's all these other factors, but I heavily think that 70% of what we're seeing right now is the way maybe a couple of teams have it kind of figured out, or the way that Russian and Aftershocks approach to playing. And I think the way Aftershock, they started to figure out how to beat the Russians in the Dallas tournament on Thursday. But then Russians figured out another way to get 2 guys in the middle. They started running 2 guys through that inside Dorito channel just to get Kirill up there, and they adapted, and they overcame Aftershock. But like Aftershock figured out a way to down. Like, just looking at these layouts and looking at from every single spot on the field, there's like, even from a shooting zone, there's like 3 different decisions, and then when you have your 3 added on to what the other person does, it's like 6 different factors. Before, and if we go back looking at like the wall, or shut down half of the field.
Yeah.
And then we got rid of the wall, and then we had bigger bunkers that still you could sneak up to. Now you have our current meta of field layouts, you need like 7 or 8 guys on the field to slow it down. You can't control, and that's why I think you're seeing, like, you know, Fit go really strong on day 1 and then lose out the next day, or like Dynasty.
For me, thank God, it's been so much more entertaining since
we did
the layouts. And then again, if we are discussing what needs to be done on a regular basis in order to present attaining. This is the shit that needs to happen.
This is how it used to be. And again, we could argue back and forth about teams quality versus then and now. I do know one thing. Like the Tom Boyer, he posted a photo of like an old X-ball photo. I don't know if you guys saw that recently, but it's like you look at it and there's it's clean, it's beautiful, it's like an old field, right? And what you do when you look at it, especially as a player, like I can remember all the things that were necessary to play well on that field. Whereas for a couple of years you go to the center and you lock off the side. Like the X was a factor where you could do that, but it was hard to also live in there. Right?
It was almost like a launching pad.
Yeah, so it created this kind of like weird, funky situation that you could, and playing it well, you could shoot a guy and live there and control it and go through the center. So it was multiple factors, right? Yeah. But like the point is back in the day, and again, not even that long ago, you get to a spot, and as a good gunfighter, and then make my move. For the last couple of years, it's like, I think I can't see it, but there's a lane.
You're playing the stream.
I can't put him in. Like I know he's there I know the damage guy's in there with 16 pods just doing this, and it's like I can't risk it. And okay, now we're down one, and okay, I got to pull it back, So it was like this total, jarred match, right? Whereas back in the day, it was cleaner and clear to be able to say, that. And then make the move. You use your gunfighting skills to play better.
I'm glad you brought that up. So when I talked to Jason about field layouts at the beginning of the year, I'm a huge. So look at this, the D side we just had, right? You go to D1, it's inset. You cannot gunfight efficiently from the safest position to take, which is that first D1. Now it wasn't that safe, but safer than D2. But in order to really effectively work that side, you need to get into that next. But you really can't gunfight that effectively from there. You have to get out to D2. Once you get to D2, you have 4 Doritos directly in a row. They're all lined up. It's gunfight paradise, like you said. Now it's
if you stayed in that D1 too long, there was a nasty bounce shot.
That's true.
So you needed to get.
So you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
So it forces you to have to play aggressive. Now you get a D2 and you're in D2. Now I can gunfight down that sideline and it's on me. Yeah. Like it's on me. Am I a better gunfighter than this guy?
Right.
And everyone keeps saying like, oh well, don't gunfight Tyler, don't gunfight Malloy, don't gunfight this guy, whatever. Well. Beat the legends, so that's why, and because people will be like, oh, you're gonna fight Tyler, you're gonna fight this dude, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not this way to do it, but if you want to be the guy, the next man up, because eventually you have to you gotta, if you want to be that guy, if you want to be a god, you have to defeat a god.
Does anybody think like that? Like you don't think like that. Ryan doesn't. I'm not. You don't ever go in there like, oh, that's Tyler.
Like, give me that gunfight.
I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna shoot you.
No, you
depending on the situation.
It depends on the situation. So my point is this: what you were saying is that when you these layouts where on whether it's the snake or on the D side or certain bunkers with inset or in the field, like it's a can to a can or a tower to a tower, it's set up so that dudes have to heads up gunfight.
Yeah.
Because that always back in the day in paintball's quote unquote golden age, which I think we're heading into another golden age right now, is that. Especially with like the duel and the joust shit that you're doing and like all the stuff that's happening, the video game stuff, like I think we're heading into another golden age.
For sure.
But one of the things was paintball's about the heads up. It's a fucking gunfight, dude. You and me, we're in a gunfight. Like okay, cool, bounce shots and angles and controlling zones, dude. Fuck that, dude. Like paintball's about the gunfight. That's what it's about. So having it heads up when you get to that spot, okay, dude, Kyle, it's you and me. Who's better right now?
Yeah.
And we're gonna be doing this for 10 points, 7 points. And if I beat you in the gunfight, even if I just put you in, I'm going to get a wrap. And then now you got to try to catch me on the wrap. And we're going to keep doing this.
And
that's how all the fields used to
be. But it also creates opportunity for those second guys, those Ryans, those middle guys that are like, okay, I just lost my guy. Now I got to create something. And he's going to come in there, clean it up, and then get another kill. And then it makes it even more exciting. It's like he lost the gunfight. He won it. Now he pulled it back, and he's now creative, and now he's winning the thing. And it's a back and forth. It's like a punch, boom, and then a punch again, right? Dude. And the old fields used to have that Dorito formula. It used to have an X, which had opportunity in the center, and then it had a snake, which you've seen now, again, that you can get into and go all the way down for the last couple events and be rewarded for being the snake. For many years there was snakes that, like, you'd go in and you didn't even get rewarded.
Yeah.
Well, that's so that when we're talking about layouts, so when I was talking to Jason, I'm like, look, a center that's playable where punches can be thrown, big dynamic moves. a D side that's a gunfight paradise. So you can, but a snake that's powerful. So you want people to push down that side, but good gunfighters. Because if you have a snake where you have to send 3 bodies that way, or you have to put a lot of emphasis that side, and sometimes it ends up being 2 dudes on an island on that D side. Maybe 2, body gets shot on the break, and it's just a gunfight versus gunfight, and you win that gunfight, and now it's just you over there. You get to be the hero. If you win that gunfight on the snake side, and you power, or you stack it up strategy wise, and you can. So it's like but it creates dynamic situations.
For sure.
That's the premium. Everything, what's at a premium is dynamic situations.
For sure. And I think the difference is also is having a center that creates. You have to have a mind that can create those things. And you saw Romano do it. You saw Tom Guest do it. There was players that were. A-Rod was doing it. Kirill was doing it. They were coming through the center and they were creating those. A magic points. And that's very exciting. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I've watched every pro point for going on 20 years now, and some of the paintball that we've seen the past couple of years is why I really feel like we are heading into a golden age. The parity in the league's great. There's 200 pro players. You got all this other cool stuff. Tons of cool things happening. The WCPPL, I talked to Hinman today for an hour and a half. Like, that league is thriving. There's so many good things that are going on right now. I love the layouts. Like, everything is just heading towards goodness, and towards more fun, towards more entertainment, towards, and again, like, the reason why I love this game, I get chills even thinking about it. And all of you, you and I talked about this, and we've all talked about this at some point. Like, I'm a prophet for this game. Something that it gives to a human soul that is so needed right now in the modern world. Mm-hmm. Everything is about softness. Everything's about safety. Everything's about, we're like, people are, and I don't want to get political about this, but like, we're literally talking about war in a way where it's like it's fucking war, dude. People die, Yeah. And it's like, how safe can things get? Like, I have a son and I want him to be as safe as possible, but man, like, and I only got one of them. Hopefully we'll have another one. So I under that, keep these human beings safe as possible. Paintball, because though we do not have, no one's getting carted off in stretchers, knock on wood. We don't have the 500-foot home run. But what it is a battle of wills. It's a fucking gunfight. You versus you and your boys. It's tribal. It's all the best things. It's summoning all the worst things in the human soul in the best way to create this incredibly demon, or summons the angel, where and then we fucking need that in the modern world, man. And that's why I love this thing that we all do. That's why I'm so stoked about where the game is going. But I wanted to continue to ride that edge. I don't care if people fucking argue, man. If you guys want to jaw at each other, let them fucking jaw. Don't throw penalties on that. Let it be
that's also,
visceral and intense.
Also an interesting factor is like there was a time there was a little lawless and reckless, right? Maybe in the golden age.
Yeah.
You're up and you put your hand on your head and then you get penalty. So we started to get really trained to be really good, and then we couldn't even talk smack or do anything else. Now I feel like that's actually the exciting thing, Let's actually get into each other's face. Let's let the guy push the guy.
Let it be what it is.
Let it be what it is.
Let it be what it is. This is what this beautiful thing that exists here on planet Earth. It has evolved over 35, 40 years now.
I think it just had its 44th birthday.
Yeah,
but I did see that. That was a nice little.
We can spend 5 hours talking about that. But the situation is like, that's what's at stake, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's what's at stake. That's what we have. This is what we have to work with. What do we do with that?
Yeah.
What are you doing to help us with that? What's happening with that?
I think the choice is kind of like what's inspiring about Legion, and I hope Diesel, because you guys have a Bloody Knuckles team too. Like, yeah, I hope that people start to go into these next couple events, and I really hope Dynasty does this too, because I think they're excellent contenders at this. Is really just go into it full bare knuckle fist fight, like bash. Play as many points as you possibly can, because I like that rush mentality. If you do think you're a better team, the more points you play, the more you're going to win. Come bang with us instead of playing into that old system that Damage did have some success in, that Impact did have success, and Dynasty did have some success. But it's like now it's time to take off the.
You bring up a very interesting point, though, which is that people talk about the mid 2000s as the golden age of paintball. We were there all playing in that, right? But if you look at that, there was only a few really good teams, And I remember Dynasty beating the fucking brakes off of like Legacy or Ultimate, and it was like the most boring paintball game. Yeah, it was like 23-0. There wasn't, yeah, but it's like that was only fun for you guys. It wasn't fun for Legacy. It was really boring to watch. But the situation is like now we actually have the opportunity with the parity in the league. If we can have the layouts and the rule set and everything conducive to actually having offense be at a premium, then now it's tailor-made for some really entertaining paintball because what people remember from that golden age are the close battles, the Trauma versus Legion, the Dynasty versus Excessive, the Dynasty versus Ironman, whatever, those like iconic matches back in the day, Avalanche when they came up. But they remember those close battles. But what was it? You were dealing with a massive amount of time. So the points didn't really mean that much because 1 point when you're playing, it's a 15-14 game or something like that, or a 12-9
and you had
game.
a second half team or something.
Yeah, so, and you had a huge roster, so everyone's at 100%. You got 15 deep. Like,
I kind of think that's the way to go, if you ask me.
Where the beer's at?
Were you, Ryan, were you trying to say something in that last 30 minutes?
Yeah, but can you guys hear me?
Sorry, dude. Apologies.
Can you
We
guys
were
hear me?
rolling, dog.
Well, you cut out as you're talking on your side. Like it kind of like breaks apart.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta like get really close to where the mic. I don't know what is going on here, man. But
it's an echo.
Can you hear an echo?
But thanks for being tech support.
Can you get me one too?
Dude, I like it. I'm texting.
Hey, don't bring Oliver and I on your show if you don't want us to get all animated and excited about shit.
Yeah, thank you guys for telling me I needed an external mic. I understand that. I was in a rush getting out of the house because I hadn't seen my family in a week, and I rushed to grab all the headbands that Oliver donated to the show that we slang to all you guys. I wanted to get those things out along with all of last week's prize winners. And I just closed the laptop and ran off. And then I bought some shit on Temu, and that doesn't work. So,
well, how are you guys going to play the next couple of events, right? What I think?
No, it's funny. Well, a couple of little anecdotes, little things that I jotted down. But one of the things that the Russians have also on their side, and to bring them back to where they are, and which is why I think that they're playing.
Is whatever paint they want to use.
Whatever paint they want to use. No, I mean, I think we have the best paint consistency wise with.
That's true. Yeah.
But the biggest thing is they're together for a month straight, playing 5 days a week. They have the budget to be able to do that. They're paying their guys big bucks to go out there, play 5 days a week with multiple coaches watching and like making sure that everybody's focused on what they need to be focused on. Rather than when like Dynasty goes out for a 4-day practice, we go and do our Thursday thing. There's like maybe 15 or 20 minutes of like structured drill doing, and then everybody gets sidetracked and we're like, let's play 2-on-2s.
At each other?
Let's play 3-on-3s. I want to play 1-on-1s. Like, we don't do drills. And for some
and you could see that because it happened. You guys lost a point to
5-on-2.
Shock at the very end there, where if you would have practiced those drills,
dude,
you would have
all
lost
sorts of things, you know. And it's like
you don't do drills?
Well, we don't.
We've been doing
that much, I guess.
I've been doing more drills this year with Diesel than I have on many teams.
I mean,
this year, so it's not like I don't know if that's completely.
Well, you need to do drills. Your team needs to do a lot of drills.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that in a
yeah. No, yeah.
But I'm saying also Dynasty does, like, they lost to Shock in that last freaking point. Like, you guys just blew it. Like, that was a was a standard drill.
There were a lot
operation.
of things that we lost on that Shock game that was absolutely in our control, and then we just pissed away. We lost a 5-on-2.
Right.
Know? We lost a 5-on-2.
And then there was like drills. But I'm saying, but even the last point, they had like 20 seconds to win it, you know, and somehow they won it. Mm-hmm. Like if you just did those drills where you had to kill 30 seconds.
Yeah, but it's just being sharp, you know, like J-Rab had mentioned on the show last week. One of the biggest things was he's like, dude, I'm hitting shots like his gunfighting.
Oh, easy, like because he was been doing so many drills.
Yeah, that's and Malloy right now, like if you watch, he doesn't miss. I mean, he might shoot a pod of paint and shoot 18 guys. You know, like he doesn't need to like be shooting and like I'll come out and snap shoot with somebody and we'll snap shoot and we'll come back and no one's dead at the end of it. But like that doesn't happen with Malloy. There's never like a
it's because he does drills and you don't.
100%.
Well, I mean, I can see if your Dynasty needs to just
cut out that whole thing. Cut out there, Ryan.
Yeah, the
But
biggest thing is we're not paid to do drills.
I know, but how you keep that? Let me put it this way: every professional athlete on planet Earth does whatever, for lack of a better word, drills. So if you are a baseball player, you think those guys don't just get in a cage and hit count situations and hit tons of curveball and then you're hitting the double play. The reason why it looks like Major League Baseball players look like ballet dancers when they're turning a double play is because they turned 1,500 double plays in practice, and so they get it down to where it literally looks like they're just doing ballet out there.
This is where it comes back to this question that I asked Ryan, is like, what are you guys going to do differently going into this? Because they've been floating, they've been walking on water, just winning events after events, and now there's like a little bit of turbulence. I still, it's like, yeah, they didn't make Sunday at that event, but like, dude, they played good. Ryan, it's like there was moments where like it just something didn't click. And that's going to happen once every 10 years.
Our team is so caught up on point margin. It's the craziest thing. We're like, the reason that we lost in Dallas was because everybody's like, we need point margin. It was like, what are you guys talking about? We need to win first. Then we can worry about point margin.
Okay, now if you go 3-1, you don't really have to worry about point margin.
I hear it every single event that we go into. Our guys are constantly going, we need to score more points. We need point margin. That's the problem. Like I'm just going for more points. So when we were up on teams in Dallas, we lost because we were like attacking rather than securing the lead. And that kind of goes to what Oliver was saying earlier, is like trying to score more points is good, but not in like critical time. You need to know when to defend that buzzer and when to add points to the stack. And then we're not going to change anything. I can guarantee you that Dynasty is not going to change anything, because we don't have anybody in a position of power that will listen or explain.
You do, bro. You're the most powerful.
We're talking to one of them right now.
No,
We're the guy.
not on Dynasty.
You tell them to do
not
things,
on
they're
Dynasty.
gonna do it, bro.
Not on Dynasty. Not on Dynasty. You try to tell Alex. You try to tell Alex to do.
But it's a mini democracy.
You try to tell.
It's like an oligarchy.
You try to tell Alex.
The thing is like, if
tripping,
Alex wants to play freaking paintball like aggressive, Ghost will too. Blake was, Harrison, Arturo, Danny. The thing is you guys have to shift it into that mindset, like, hey, we're gonna do like this. And you're right, because the difficult thing and the sensitive aspect about this, Ryan, is exactly what you said. There's a number of intelligence on Dynasty that's like, it's kind of difficult to explain, but there's also needs to be like a looseness, but not a loose where it's like you're losing those points like you're talking about in Texas. It needs to be a calculated looseness, but it needs to also be a cohesive team agreement, like to say, hey, this is the time that you can do this. This is the opportunities to do these things.
But where do you develop creative freedom on a game? If it's 5-on-3 or a 3-on-5 or whatever, you do that by running that drill. How do you get better, or how do you figure out what's wrong? Well, you have to have learning moments. Now, you can either find those learning moments in the context of a point, or you can just put everyone in a learning moment right out the gate, and that's how you like a good example. Aftermath. Talked to Grayson when they were having some struggles last year, and he's like, "Oh, give it to me straight," and pro league and you're watching, but I'm like, well, how many, like, what? Because they were just having problems finishing games. They were doing bad in situations, and I'm like, well, what's your practice look like? Do you just go out and play points, and that's all you do? You just literally play point after point after point after point, and then how are you figuring out what is and is not working? And he's like, yeah, we don't do Monday drills. We're just kind of playing points. I'm like, yeah, it looks like you guys haven't done a drill in 2 years, So then they start doing more drills, and then they get better, and then they had to run. But yeah, I mean, it would probably be really good for you guys, Ryan, if you guys went and did, some high body situation drills. If you guys ran 20 or 30 high body situation drills, you think you're going to ruin a 4-on-2 or 5-on-2 again, or whatever it was you guys blew? No, probably not. I don't know. It always boggles my mind with paintball because like playing regular sports when I went to a paintball practice back in the day when I was 16, and all we did was just play games, and I was like, this is. When I played baseball and football, we only played when we played someone else. That was it. Other than that, you're taking grounders, catching fly balls, you're doing hitting drills in football, you're running plays, and just the beginning of it. You're not actually playing football or playing baseball.
Yeah, but the football and baseball, those fields never change. right? So you don't need to learn how to like break down the layout because it's
Yeah,
just going to be the same.
I'm not saying okay, but whatever. On off weekend layouts, you only have one weekend on the layout anyway. You know,
it takes a coaching staff to like win this, and this is what we're focusing on for this time. So when you're playing baseball, you have a coaching staff that says we're doing this.
Yeah.
When you show up to the paintball and the guys just want to play, and it's the gruesome slap for years, and you're like tired, and you're like, yeah, let's just play. You know, let's play and let's get out of here. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
To do drills is more exhausting. It's more tedious. It's more monotonous. It's more laborious. It's more mental.
Yeah, but what do you get out of that?
You get a shitload out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So are you down for that?
I would.
I know you're down for that because that's all you used to do.
But you do need to have a coach that's going to set those things up and navigate those things.
Yeah, but so okay, like Oliver Lane,
otherwise
Ryan Green, whatever.
Otherwise
I mean,
players want to just play.
Ryan, I saw you less growing up than I saw Oliver because we played on the same team when he was young. But Oliver was like the first kid there, the last to leave. He'd be doing like shooting boxes, whatever. So like
that's Ryan when he's 41 now.
No, I know, but my point is that like you got paintball famous by doing these crazy moves that you had already practiced by doing all that stuff in the drill. So when it happened in the game, you're like, oh, all I have to do is just walk through the middle of run through the middle of the field and shoot all these dudes because no one's shooting at me right now.
The system of practice is actually Dynasty. Actually, it came from the old, but then Dynasty really sculpted the real system of practice. And the ideal ones agree with me. You know, you're there or not, but like we'd have one weekend where we do drills against each other. We do the 1-on-1s, we do the 2-on-2s, blah, blah, blah. We do scenarios. We do the island. We created all those things. And then the following weekend, we'd have a practice against ourselves playing with the things that we took from the following weekend. And then the following weekend after that, we'd play against another team. Yeah. Right? And so we already have all of it dialed. That was 3 weekends of practice, and we would shoot, I don't know, tons and tons of paint, you know, and we play a lot, you know. I don't know what it's like now, you know. That's the ideal system.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I agree.
Going back to something that, too, I think I was in the bathroom coming out to this, but of like you all need to have an agreement within the team. Like this is going into like a little bit of a deeper level where I think Russians is on that where they're okay with any one of their guys. If he gets shot, it's okay. Like and at any point, they're not gonna like get on them. Then you have a new team like Aftershock, who they have, in a way, some leeway to do bad or good. They're a brand new team. They're all just buying in. And I just knowing how A-Rod plays, too, who he clashes with a lot of teams with vets, but if he can be the man on the team with some good... We saw it with Ironman, where he brought them to win. So if you can have someone that already has that same mentality, because A-Rod kind of plays like how the Russians meta is right now.
For sure.
And everyone's on the same page with that, with being okay. Now, where I think you're seeing some of our like veteran teams struggling is guys are getting on guys for making mistakes, but they're not really mistakes right now because on the way the layouts are designed, if you go through, you might shoot 3 guys, but if you go through and you get shot, like why? And I like checking myself when I'm coaching the semi-pro team on these new layouts is as I go to say something, I'm like, hey, what did you think? Because if what they thought, if that actually played out, then that was the right move. But I'm not going to chew them out for just feel like...
This is such a good point.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my friend today about this, and he said he learned this from a businessman. He said they're partners, and they own a multi-million-dollar business. And he said when they fucked up, the other one wouldn't call the other, hey, it just let it be because he realized that he's going to fuck up one day also. Right. And it's like the fuck up's going to happen and it's to be okay with the fuck up. Yeah. And I think you're right because veteran teams, like especially on Dynasty, you know, you don't assume this guy, you don't want to get fucked up and you don't want to be like, hey, why'd you do that stupid move? And then all of a sudden now he retracts. Right.
Yes.
You want to give him the freedom. Yes. You want to believe in him. And I think that's the juice that the Russians have.
100%.
Like you're saying, you know?
Yeah. Well, because again, they don't have another option.
Yeah.
Like
it's how I used to play when I was on Dynasty was we all believed in each other in such a mighty formula, that's such a mighty way that we were like, oh, you saw that? Like, great. Like, I didn't see that. Like, if I look at it, it was a dumb move, but you saw it. So I believe in you. And it was so like, you know, it was so structured in a way that we all were on the same motivational, platform going together.
It's the paintball
instead of being like, I'm back here and you're trying to, and you're,
these days, the paintball maxim of being able to play with reckless abandonment because you want a guy riding right on that edge a reckless abandonment, because
Makes one play paintball.
if he's sitting in snake 2 and he's overthinking every move, and okay, cool, he made his spot, yeah, he's staying alive, but all of a sudden his opponent is wrapping around that 50 because he's scared to engage, and he got that kill inside, and now you guys are at deficit. If you're not playing on the edge of reckless abandonment, you're probably not going to be winning tournaments. The Russians are showing, Dynasty are showing, every top team is showing.
You said 100 times in Go Sports, you know, the cardinal sin is to die in your bunker with time on the clock.
Yeah,
right?
with down 1 with time on the clock. Yeah.
So the thing is that, like, if everybody's on the same train, like, you know, even like Ryan and I have done this, Kyle, you know, we've done this where I'm like, hey, look, there's 17 seconds. Like, if I shoot that guy, I'm going. So, like, come with me,
Yeah,
you know?
and
it's like, it's like, hey, this is what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if I don't shoot that guy, okay, it's a little bit different situation, but we get on the horse together, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, there's a lot of these guys, dude, they don't know how to get on the horse. And I watch these teams, they don't even know how to close games. And you're right. And you're telling, hey, dude, you died in your bunker with down 1 point with 20 seconds to go. Or, you know, you sat there.
Yeah.
And it's like, you all got to get on the same horse,
Yeah.
you know? And I think it's even just a simple conversation in the pits, you know?
Well, and it's also swarming too. So again, to kind of co-sign on what you guys are saying, when you look, if you look at how Shock, well, swarming towards the objective, right, and utilizing the specific moment when those angles drop and there's no pressure on you, because like look at how Shock's playing right now. One of the reasons that Shock has done well is like, okay, so
Shock's done well one time, right?
No, the 4th and a 2nd. You know, that's pretty good for these last 2.
And they lost to the Russians in a heated game to go on.
Exactly. Yeah.
In LA, the first event.
So,
Dallas.
Yeah.
Which we talked about
Yes.
on the phone. I was like, that side looks stronger to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. In our off-camera conversation, for sure. But the thing is that what they're doing is they are playing with that reckless abandonment. Todd wants to see, the Todd squad wants to see it. Todd Martinez. But if you look at, you know, like again, having to go through that final game with the fine-tooth comb, and also some of these games for them to get there, but the way that Parrish is playing, real quick on that D side, when he's not feeling pressure. If somebody comes off of him, he's taking ground.
Yeah.
You know, Corey also too as that second attacker. So the combo of Corey Hall and LJ Parrish on that D side, that's a really good solid look for Shock. Yeah. And there's still Hosky has started to do that as their first attacker on the snake side for them. Thomas Kim has the ability to do that. A-Rod loves doing that. But they're putting that pressure not just with their guns, not just with the angles, but also taking that bump. And then now all of a sudden, you know how it is. It's like you lose a body and you look up and the dude is already in D3. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Now I'm, you know, put you in a bad spot, right?
Yeah.
And so whereas opposed to, you know, you lose your body and you're like, okay, what do I need to get out? And then now they're not making that move. So now it gives you kind of time to get comfortable. And then now you make that fill as opposed, that's what I'm saying about the swarm, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you're up bodies.
But that's a mentality, right? Because
Yes,
I'm the
for
same
sure.
way. Like for a while there, it was like, okay, my guy died, I got to stay alive. But in the beginning, it was like, my guy died, I got to do something. Because we'd have more points to play, right? And there'd be more time, right? And then it changed. And it's like, oh, I lost my guy. I got to zone up and not lose this point. Whereas before, it's like, let me try to pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Well, you were great at that. I mean, that was, you know, one of the things that made you like one of the, you know, in some book, the greatest of all time. Definitely fucking one of the greatest of all time, without a fucking doubt. But you were the king of like utilizing chaos and moments to dynamically alter a point that irreparably ripped up apart that team's chance to win.
But you needed the back guy also that would pull up on that and ride that train also.
So that's that combo, you know.
That's the combo.
But that's the thing when you look at these top teams. So anyway, but that's like, I think the dynasty is going to be totally fine. The roster's awesome, but I mean, yeah, you know, whatever. And what do you guys have been?
It's all right,
Fourth at the last
Cheer
one.
up.
Like, dude,
Cheer up.
you're
The
gonna be
last
totally
12
fine,
minutes.
you know?
Yeah. Russians won 1 in 6 years, and everybody's riding a jock.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to win the next one. They're all going to forget about the Russians.
Keep your chin up.
The question is though, I think in the evolution of it, right? And you know this, you do have to stay on the tip of the spear and keep getting creative, because you know there is a motion of junction now, or a junction of motion, where the Russians are. And now it's like, okay, the trend is changing a little bit, and how do you adapt it? Which I think Dynasty can easily adapt to.
Well, I think we need to get you back out to one of our practices to inspire some of these guys.
All right, let's do it. When's the next practice?
He's ready to go this weekend.
We're getting Oliver pumped up to play some paintball right now.
I'm pumped.
I'm ready.
I think, this weekend I can't practice because I've got the tour stop in North Carolina. Which
it's not happening this weekend. I'm indisposed at the moment. But we you know, I know you got that unlimited credit card, so we'll just fly out. Let's just get you out.
You put it on the card.
Put it on the card. Put it on someone's card.
Right here, I think it's
a write-off.
I think
bro.
it says Ryan Greenspan.
It's a write-off.
Yeah, it's a write-off.
Some people are asking earlier. You have a Donald Trump pen?
Yeah, dude. I just saw that. I don't know who stayed at a Trump hotel.
That's a
Bobby
Trump
said that.
hotels though. That's not a Trump for president.
Yeah, not like a Trump 2024.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
may as
I don't know
well
where you
be.
at, Ryan.
But I'll tell
I
you
don't-
what, it's nice because it's got this little thing out of here. I was I don't know. I just got this. It was just sitting in like a cup holder somewhere in my. It's actually just it was in my lapel.
Oh, it came with the HORMESIS shirt.
Just conveniently
Yeah.
right there.
It
Just
came in.
conveniently.
Maybe it was
the
Oliver.
HORMESIS
The
collab.
No, I'm Kennedy. I'm
The
coming back
HORMESIS
to vote.
jacket
I never
actually
voted in my
comes
life.
out.
I do like Kennedy.
I'm gonna do it. So, what else we got on the docket? Should
Well,
we talk about the tour?
We definitely got to talk about the tour. We do need to talk about Hinman.
Yeah, I was
Coach
just
of
gonna
the
say,
Bears.
come back to that.
I like Hinman, coach. I like
think it'll be
Hinman. I
good.
like modern day Hinman a lot. He was
Yeah.
scary back in the day. I think he was actually a good coach for you guys. I don't know exactly what happened,
I do too.
but I think he's going to help the Bears. I don't even know
I think
who
with
the
the
Bears
way
are
that
or what's on the Bears.
the way that the strategy is right now, I think Hinman will be good.
Dude, for sure. The Bears need a little
Well-
bit more. The Bears are having, from what it looks like to me, a slight. Because again, as we spoke on earlier, you have to have both a big
what
offensive
bathroom should
push.
I go?
What's up?
Like what bathroom?
No, not like
not-
not like I don't know
Okay,
if I'm a man or a
okay,
woman
okay.
or like a zero or a zam.
I just
No, more of like that's very 2024. No, not that at all. It's more of like they need to. They're pretty good right now. You know, I mean, like if you like, it would take us a while, but I could go kind of blow for blow. And I sat or I talked to him for about an hour and a half today. I think he's going to be a huge boost to the team. My point when I'm saying crisis of identity, that's a team that they have very offensive players. You have to have both offense and defense. They're trying to mold their game now to fit the meta, as we've been saying. So you need to be able to have both. Whereas I feel like they just need to embrace who they are. And I think that Mike's going to be able to come in and get the best out of them. That line. Manners has been awesome for them. GJ Sakaguchi's a force. The Altamores are awesome. Mark Barolo has been really good for them. Like his really core guys, not household names in the game, but they've been hanging with everyone. They've had close wins and close losses.
I mean, this is the first time we've seen like the top 15 teams can beat any other team at any match.
But they're I think they're 10th right now. I mean, he's at my papers, but I think they're 10th. But they're right there, man. You know, like they really are right there. So I think it's really smart for Magic Mike. They've been trying to get Magic Mike, the owner of the team. You got Allen in there. He's a part of the leadership too. But I think it's really intelligent for Magic Mike. He kept reaching out to Mike Hinman. You know, it's like the Todds for Aftershock. Now it's the Mikes for the Bears. But I think it's really smart.
Does
What's
he
up?
call himself Magic Mike, or does someone else give him that nickname?
He was Magic Mike before I met him.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not gonna like
That's
mess with his nickname.
really important to know.
Yeah, dude, he's
You know?
he's like Alex Lundqvist, good looking, bro. You know what I'm
But that's a
saying? Like,
movie, right? Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, I don't know the story with how he got the name, but
It's just,
But Magic
a little.
Mike
It's
is-
just like it could be important.
he's a
you know?
paintball patron, dude. Like he's a really good guy for the game.
Okay, good.
I like all those guys. I don't know them, but I
Hey,
like them.
Maddie,
Yeah.
you grazed over when you went through the NYX and last, and then Iron Man and whoever and someone else, and then you skipped over a team before you went to Blast Camp. And we talked about it on the last show. There's a team that's sitting in 16th place, I think, and luckily,
And what team is that?
luckily they
You're
made.
breaking up out in paradise, bro, with your beautiful palm tree. What did you say?
You're breaking down. We can't.
Kyle.
We can just go to the next subject.
Next question, please. I can't hear you. You're blanking.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with
You
this.
skipped over
Okay,
something.
let's talk about Diesel. Okay, so
Maddie, hold on. Let's talk about Diesel. What do you think's going on with Diesel?
well, I mean, we do have we have a Diesel member right here.
Give us your pure, honest, raw opinion.
Okay, here's my opinion.
Take the
Diesel.
gloves
So one of my favorite movies growing up. I played a lot of baseball growing up, and
Ellie
one
Knight?
no.
Oh,
Sandbox. Sandlot.
No, this was before the Sandlot came out. I'm old.
Friday
too old.
Night Lights.
Nope, not even
Matrix.
close.
Field of Dreams.
No,
Nope.
what's the one with the girls playing
Robert
baseball?
Redford. So in The Natural, there was this moment where they bring this sports psychologist in, and he's just got this monotone voice, and he's like, "Losing is a disease," and he starts like kind of going through this thing with these guys because they had this real tough time. They were losing, more games than their talent should allow, and all of a sudden they go on this big run. So where I think you guys are, honestly, and we've talked about this off camera, is that I feel that AC Diesel is having a crisis of confidence. Where it should be punching above its weight class instead of below its weight class, and you guys have been punching below your weight class for a while now. You start off dead last at the beginning of the year. You do make a Sunday at the second event, take a ninth place. Again, not where you want to be, and then miss another Sunday at this event. And so
each one was by a point.
Yes, and so you're having these really, so it's like these really close games, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, and you have a very good mind for the game, so you like giving a lot of insight and helping coach and that sort of stuff. But we've also seen that when your feet are pushed to the fire and you have to be a star on the field, you're still good at that, right? So you have to kind of lean into that. Mouse needs to lean into his role. Like, Mouse is one of the best snake players. He's arguably the best snake player ever to play the game. Yeah. He might be being played out of position, as that too. Clint Johnson has really stepped up. Clint has been a fucking huge burst of energy for you guys. He needs, and then you got BJ Mark, the two Marks. Like, when I go man for man, talent for talent on that team, there's no way that we should be this deep into the incarnation of AC Diesel with the results that you've had. So why is that the case? Well, there may be dudes being played slightly out of position, but at the end of the day, it really is, especially with the way these fields are being played, with a team that has a lot of offensive threats. You're not playing offensive enough. You're overthinking. I think overthinking is the cancer. Let's overthink this. Let's overthink that. Let's think about this move. And no, don't die, guys. We need to keep 5 alive. And it's like, that's the big problem. Where you have the Bears, or you have these other teams, or whatever. Just pick literally any other team in the league that's just kind of sending it, and you guys don't send it. Yeah. You get to your spots, and everyone's overthinking moves. I don't want to die. I don't want to get sat. I this and that. So I think that so going back to the natural, and when you have that sports psychology, like losing is a disease. Like your guys based on your talent level, and so kind of letting the reins go a little bit and just playing paintball to your natural talent level. Yeah. It's like I would almost go out to a practice. I think like this might be a good reset for you guys, is like, we're not going to make one fucking game plan this entire practice. Like, literally, let's just go out and walk the field and audible every game plan at the start gate.
I suggested because the practice before the tournament, we did one day on the divisional layout, and then the Sunday was on the Dallas layout. And I was like, on this one, we should just go play like street ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I was like, maybe even try something weird, like maybe let's not communicate, or like let's not name the bunkers, and let's try to figure it out while we play.
I mean, I want you to communicate, but what I want you to do is I want to take away the structure and
I agree.
Force you into just playing your natural game. Everything's a scramble. Yeah. Everything's a scramble. Audible at the gate every time. Look down the field, see who you're playing, and go like, all right, hey Mouse, you want to go snake one off the break? Or where you want to go back corner, like what do we just lost that last one. I got clipped, but I think that dude just made a good shot on me. I'm gonna send it again, whatever. And then just have zero like criticism for that side of things.
Zero criticism on that team will start to escalate.
I agree.
Just to reset it.
I've been saying that. Yeah.
So then you get back to just and again, I know it's tough, but I would do this on an off weekend, not a layout weekend. But just go out and just play paintball. Just let your natural level of ability and talent and experience rise, and see how that goes. Because I think that watching you guys have played every single point of your professional incarnation of AC Diesel, I just see a lot of like tentative, like, oh, I don't want to get shot. I don't want to over engage here. And it's just like, I want you guys to just take the reins off and let the horses run.
And I think we were on a good path of the 2 weekends before Dallas. And I had a long phone call with you, and I was like, man, we're looking good. Like,
I heard,
we get through these, and I
heard good things from the people you played against.
Yeah, I was like, I think we're going to be able to get through Revo, get through Ironman. We'll see how it goes with X Factor Heat out of that, and then I think we'll face a strong Russian Legion. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then we had I talked to you like about those weekends that we were even getting like deeper in combos about each other's lies, and it was really gelling. And then we went out and just didn't even look like ourselves. And I think that just put us back into like this like timid mode where we're like, fuck, not again.
It's the curse of potential greatness.
Yeah.
And anyone that's been on one of these teams, it's like if you're on a team where greatness is expected and there's a ton of pressure, then every point you get so microscopic on all these different things.
But the thing is now there's no pressure. You've lost and you've failed, and I'm not saying that to be a dick. It's like now, honestly, all you can do is get better. Like you just have to relinquish the tension. Really, all those guys, whoever they are, release the tension. Like you've already had a blunder. Like there's no. You've already made the mistake. Now it's like, okay, hey, it's like we've drank so much, we've hit rock bottom, we've done all the partying. It's like I'm at the bottom now. It's like let's soar back up. Like let's revive ourselves.
And what a cool story.
And who cares? And let's pat each other on the back. Like even if you lose every event, every game, next event, but you're all patting each other on the back and you're supporting each other, that's a win, dude. Like because you got to get that thing going.
And I've heard some of the haters been like, oh well, it's because the diesel guys have to play too much. And I'm like, fuck that. That's bullshit. Because, Mark Baginski's BJ's legit. Clint Johnson, if anyone's watched any paintball in 2024,
I think they're playing better than they have potentially last year. And
I'm just saying, like,
what I would do is
don't read the comments anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I would have everybody on your team delete all social media and freaking start fresh. Try to make a little brotherhood,
Yeah, because
like, hey, let's all be friends and let's
quit Tiger Wear. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, just quit Tiger Wear.
You don't want any competition.
Yeah,
like
stop doing everything.
Don't read the comments. How about that?
Yeah.
Don't read the comments is enough. And the point is like there's so many haters out there, and that's a whole nother thing that we didn't really have to live with. Is like now everybody just talks smack on everything, even if you're good.
Yeah.
And
like colors in a burger company.
I can say that because I'm just jealous, envious little baby, But for the most part, nobody else out there who's ever played against them can say that.
But again, that's my kind of my situation with this is like, okay, well, how do you actually go about getting it like it's like turn it like you're joking. Yeah, turn it off, turn it back on.
Maybe you could take us to ayahuasca retreat, all of us. I know I did say we needed like a mushroom reset, like something. Yeah,
I think you guys all need to as friends, and you don't need to do anything
but
extreme.
They've been trying to do that. So that's my point, though. To get like a paintball reset,
they're still
go to a
fighting
practice on an on-layout weekend, so you don't feel pressure to learn the layout. And I'm sure Johnson will be down for this, but bring everybody in.
Get a couple strippers.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, dude, get some titties in your face, whatever it's gonna take.
Let Oliver plan the thing.
Yeah, let me plan it. It'll be like a bachelor party.
What's my budget? Listen, just give me your credit card. Don't look at it. Don't check your social media or your credit card bills.
No, I know.
We'll go to Vegas from Thursday to Saturday and Sunday ayahuasca.
But think about it. If we could get like you and Mouse on a snake side, not having to play to a plan, and just playing paintball, I feel like you probably do better than playing to a plan.
I agree.
Like let Mark do his. Let the Iceman do his
go
thing
anywhere you want to go. Mouse, where do you want to go? I'm going over here now.
I feel like you guys are over analyzing the shit out of things, and this is no disrespect to like Ryan Gray's an amazing. It's not his fault. I just think that as an entity, the team is just, like taking a microscope and mind fucking everything.
For sure, it's bigger than the skill. It's bigger than what's going on with the skill level or the coaching staff or anything right now. It's mental.
Yeah. That's
deeper
it.
Than that.
Yeah, I think it's like a psychological thing for you guys, and which is that's a rough hole to get out of. And so having like a reset where it's like, let's go have a fun weekend, like no game plans all day. Try to maybe get like a semi-pro team to play or something, so you have like
you get a really bad team and just smash them.
Well, we played well against X Factor the weekend, and
bro, I talked to all those guys. I know how well you guys were playing. Like they gave me the no bullshit assessment on it. Yeah, but that's my point. Is that the overthinking is a real cancer for you guys right now. Yeah. And it's not the coach being like, here's the game plan. It's you guys getting in your spots and just going through everything, because you can see by the body language. You look at, Legion's 3 on going out, like
Yeah.
trying to just bully guys, and I'm like, oh my god, they're down 2 bodies and they still won that because they just don't give a shit because
Yeah.
like they're playing the next point no
Don't
matter
give a
what.
shit.
Yeah.
That's the essence of it.
Yeah,
Just stop
I would
giving a
literally
shit,
just
dude.
go out and just don't give a
Just
shit.
stop giving a shit.
Yeah, stop. That's actually not a bad.
You put the work in outside of the tournament, and then
Yeah.
when you get to the tournament, don't give a shit and let the
Yeah,
work
just
That's right. Pay
handle.
off.
As
Yeah,
the
yeah.
alcoholics
I
say,
also
just let
think-
go and let God.
That's
you know what
I
I'm
also
saying?
think you guys should tell.
Start again. You cut out.
I also think that you guys should tell Mark that you should get paid contingencies if you do well, like performance bonuses.
Yeah, like $1,000 every time you
No.
shoot a guy.
That's not gonna. That's not what
Yeah,
they need right now.
That's it.
That's
for
gonna
sure.
wait,
Wait,
them up even more,
$1,000 every
dude.
time
No.
you shoot a guy? That sounds good.
Okay,
Look, are you
sure.
guys reading the
maybe that
comments?
would
That's
help
what
you
people
guys.
are
I don't know,
saying.
though, at this point, to be honest, like you guys might overthinking.
I shot a guy. Give me $1,000. I only
Yeah,
shot
no,
one
I shot
guy,
him.
bro.
Let's
I
split
feel
it.
like if you guys had, I don't
Yeah, YJ Warren. Mouse was doing. I thought Mouse played well.
Mouse was playing good. Mouse plays good.
no, he's literally. It's like if you have a tailback or a shortstop or whatever, just take like the most important person in any sport and say, okay, let's have that guy play second base or third base, or let's have that dude play wide receiver instead of tailback or running back. You know, it's like, bro, you're the dude that literally
Yeah.
all entire success. Like, do you think like Malloy's playing the one in the snake? Has that worked out well for them or not?
Yeah.
Okay, that's worked out great for them. They're bowling ball and the wrecking ball on that side. So Malloy's not like, oh, I'm too valuable. I need to start in the back center and then I need to work my way out there so I stay alive. No, fuck that. That's not what they're doing. They're sending him all every single fucking point. The dude's like literally at the 50 every single point.
So
So
Ryan, you got to play the snake, is what.
so if,
I'm saying.
if
That's
Mouse
the
is
last
that
time I did, we
equivalent
won
on
the
your
event.
guys' team, like why would you guys be holding him back? You know, like why does he have to go to the back corner and fucking try to work his way into the snake? Why is he not playing Malloy's position on your guys' work that out? Like, give me the logic behind that.
Well, the only reason I wouldn't do that is, okay, if they're not playing against Malloy and they've got a Muppet on one of these teams who's the first guy in the snake.
Just
And,
goes bunkers them out.
yeah, I mean, maybe.
Layout
you know?
contingent. I
Layout
understand. And I'm
contingent
not
a little
saying
bit.
every single layout, but I'm just saying that Mouse.
No,
is-
Ryan disagrees.
No way,
Mouse-
dude. Don't
Mouse has
don't
got to
hold
get
your
to this-
guy just because you think some Muppet is gonna get in there and trade out.
No,
with
I'm
him,
not
like,
saying. And plus, he'll outplay the Muppet. But what I'm saying is that might be the only reason to not. You know.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he should
Well,
be.
also,
Yeah.
if you pay him more.
I just look, dude. I mean,
Plus, the snake is where the deal is, and that's where everybody loves to watch.
it sets the
and
tempo and the
that's what
pace.
sets the tempo and the pace. And when you control the snake, if you do it well, you usually win the match. But who's the other guy? Clint was in the snake,
Dude,
right?
Clint's-
And he's
Clint's
crushing
been
it.
a
Clint or
beast, bro.
BJ.
Or
Clint's been a
BJ, you know.
beast.
So
Yeah, Clint.
You know,
Clint
but
got
those guys
the move of the
can
event.
play where. So can you, you know, Frick.
Well, yeah,
Just put 6 guys in the snake.
Yeah.
yeah. 6 guys.
Just start with 6. Take the penalty.
Take the penalty.
Shoot a couple extra people off the break.
Think you're down playing your toes, and then win. You know.
How many guys get pulled if you start with 6? 2?
I think one. I think it would be 4 then.
But,
Well,
Why don't you just
but
start
if-
with
but
6
if-
and
yeah.
shoot all
Shoot
3
two of
guys
them
off the break, and then play
That
4
could
on
be
3?
that could be a new drill.
That's it.
That's it. We cracked the code.
Crack the code.
No.
Yeah.
Need 2 more. I don't know. It hasn't.
That
been
could
so
be the
long.
next
Okay.
until they change the
Until they
rule.
change the rule.
You'd be like, well, we're
I can't, it's been so long. I mean, Chalk has been out of
the
it.
problem is
Previous incarnation for so long.
the
I think
problem
it
is
might be
that
2, but
you could only get away with it a couple times, and then afterwards they just start yelling at you right away, and then you'd be like, another penalty for shooting while we
Yeah.
already pulled you. You know.
Yeah. Let's talk about the duel and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
joust.
Well, I'm excited because we're going to where this guy was born and raised. You know, so Greensboro, North Carolina.
Gonna raise up.
And I love it because I get to hang out with Tyler and the old trauma guys. And what I love about what's happening in this is it's been a long, hard road. A lot of people haven't really bought into it. A lot of people haven't really experienced it to that point of getting really the that epiphany of like, wow, this is really cool. But I will say there are a few, and when they do, they really get it. And I will say that Tyler, Paintball Central, dude, they've got an all-star 16 duelers. Like, it's going to be, I think, the best duel that we've ever finale in a sense, because the grand finale was only 8 guys.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think all these guys are pretty high caliber players, and they all jumped to the opportunity, which I love. Also, they're like,
Yeah.
a lot of guys are like, oh, duel, I don't know, They were like, yeah, let me in the duel, you know.
Yeah.
Sign me up. How much? Where do I
Some
sign?
people
You
get
know?
scared, bro.
For
you know?
sure.
Like, I can see it.
That's the issue with this is because you get exposed, you know. And then the joust is just going to be great education, and people are loving it. But I just love, what I really love to see is the pockets of paintball in the world that are strong, and the players that are strong, and the players that get it, and the players that are willing to show up. They're beyond the price entrance fee. They're beyond all the bullshit, you know, and like saying, okay, I'm playing, like I'm there. And so that's what it feels this weekend in Paintball Central. And I'm super excited to see it because, like I said, I get to go to all these fields. I've been to some of the best fields around the world. Like last year, I went to Paintball Fit. None of the Paintball Fit guys even showed up to play the duel.
Jacob Johnson got famous.
Okay, Jacob Johnson, but I think either they were afraid that Jacob Johnson was just going to shoot them all because maybe Jacob does that in practice. They're like, oh well, Jacob's going to play.
Like Chavez would have crushed in that.
So do I. You know, all
so
those
good,
guys.
dude. Yeah,
you know,
Chavez
so that's what I'm saying. There's a weirdness
Dude,
in that.
That's how pro players are, dude. It's such a strange thing. That's like it's an ego thing, and that's what I think Alex did such a good job with the coin duel. But when we did the combine and we came up with all the combine drills, not a single pro wants to do it because they don't want to be the worst at it. So one-on-ones are such a strange thing for a lot. Like I would say 95% of pros don't want to do any of that stuff because they just don't want to lose.
Right.
And
but that's the thing is like you've been doing it, and you're probably the only one who's actually reached master dueler status by all the coins you've collected. And the idea is that, you know, you're going to lose some. And that's okay, you know, and then you get better in those losses.
You know what's funny
you
though?
Improve yourself.
You know what's hilarious? The red and gold coins out for one-on-one wins in competition at the NXL. You know, courtesy of HORMESIS and Coin Duel. And there's a couple guys that are like, oh, the coins aren't that big of a deal. But for the most part, and even those guys sometimes, especially when they win the 2-on-1 coin or the 1-on-2 coin, is that maybe they don't want to go play the duel, but they will come and get their coins, and it's like a boost. They're like, yeah, well, I'm like, hey, I got to do this game, but it's a huge deal for them to get that coin. But that was a one-on-one they were forced into. Like they had to be in that one-on-one. Yeah. But but that to me again, when we're putting our let's entertain people hats on, let's make people give a shit hats on. Well, that's something has to be at stake. Somebody has to win, and somebody has to lose. Yeah. And you're not always going to win.
And look at like Jacob, what's his name? He won 2, and like everybody's like he's the best one-on-one player.
You talking about the dude from AC Diesel?
No,
or,
AC,
Jacob Edwards.
Jacob Edwards.
Yeah,
Jacob Edwards.
And so the point is like I actually think he is one of the best players because I think I know that he's been training for a long time, and it shows. And just his pure like absoluteness of being like, I'm the guy, you know, like put me in, you know, like I'm gonna do it, you know, like even if I called him now and was like, hey, I need you to come play one-on-one at this tournament, he'd be like, yeah, sure, you know, because he has the confidence. A lot of people don't get that confidence. So if you are a player and you want to be good on any of these teams, it's like, look, okay, who goes in? I mean, in Legion, there's probably a number of guys that are like, yeah, I'll go in. You know, who goes in on X Factor? Heat, probably Tyler. You know, Dynasty, who would go in, Ryan, on a one-on-one? You know, who would be the first guy that goes in?
Archie? Who goes in a one-on-one? Who does Skinny put out?
I mean, Alex would probably win it, but I would say Archie or Marcelo would probably be our first 2.
Point is that like there's still like a little bit of who. You know, like there should be an absoluteness on every team, you know, like who is the guy that absolutely is going to go out and be like, yeah, I got this, you know,
absolutely is not going to be me.
I mean, I think you would be excellent at it too, you know,
I know,
but really the point is we just need to erase those. We need to scrub that mindset away. And I think that the duel and the joust is a good way to do this because it gives you confident, and then you can have that confidence in the real game situation.
Well, the cool thing about the duel and the joust is they're both one-on-one battles, but they're like drastically different
for sure.
And again, from an entertainment standpoint, my God, dude, like I've done all of the things in paintball. Like I've played a battle with, you know, an Invasion Normandy with 4,300 people out there, you know, and I've played the 10-man and 7-man and 5-man and like whatever, dude, every incarnation in between. The joust is insanely fun, like just because, especially as the if you guys are out there, like, do not sign up for the Magnificent. You got to sign up for the Glorious
because the Glorious is way better. We're
actually
just
well, then you get to work under Maddie, you know. And so,
I'm undefeated, by the way.
So next weekend we've got Chris Shear's the general for the Glorious.
Yes,
Tyler Humphrey is the general.
Oh,
general
Tyler
for
went
the
magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler,
And,
bro, what are you
sometimes
doing?
it's not a choice though, you know. So,
No, that's true. Like
sometimes
both,
not a
yeah,
choice.
Tom Martinez and Rich, same thing. But
And
it is
so
what it is.
the idea in the Germany is the European stop. So we'll have we'll have a new general there. We'll have a new joust there. We'll have a new dual winner there.
I think this is also a good point too, because this is very paintball. So I'm all 100% in on the Glorious right now, because like that's my squad. But I did just like sometimes you get drafted in life. I got drafted into the Glorious.
Yeah.
You drafted me into the Glorious because I rolled up. I'm like, well, who am I generaling? And you're like, well, you basically drafted me to general the Glorious.
Well, it kind of also
got it.
Team. Yeah. And also there's a little bit of an archetype, like, you know, Rich is a little bit more magnificent, you know, like, right, and you're a little bit more glorious, right? And then, you know, LaSoya, you know, he's like, I'm glory boy, so I'm glorious, glorious, you know, and then I'm a little bit of like a troublemaker, and you know, like I go to magnificent, you know? Magnificent's kind of the villain, and glorious is kind of the hero, you know.
That's
and you know, magnificent gets laid, but glorious wins more, you know. so but I haven't caught the wave yet. You know, this year is a pretty cool. So I'm here now to make my pit stop to Charlotte, and you know, if you guys don't know what's going on, but it's around the world. We're searching for the best in the world, so that's pretty cool. Last year was the U.S., and we went to all eight different stops in the U.S. and we found the best players, and we brought them to the grand finale. And Tommy Greenleaf won that, so shout out to that. And we had a little talk. We had a talk on that, but now it's going to be best in the world. So we have the best player from Thailand. He's won. We got. And then now we're going to get the first one from the U.S. in Greensboro. And then we're going to go to Prague, get the best European player, you know. So people got to show up for this. And then we're going to Canada, Alabama, Mexico. So we're going to go to Arturo's Field in Mexico. We're going to get the best Latin American players, you know, and then SC Village. And then we're going to do the grand finale in Thailand. But one thing that it kind of pisses me off a little bit about, you know, this current mental meta of paintball play. We're going to Prague. Like, I'm coming to Prague. Like, I can't go to France and Germany and Moldova and Italy. Like, you have to come to me. Like, meet me halfway. Is what I'm saying. You know. So like back in the day, it was like, okay, this is an opportunity. I've got to go that distance to get that opportunity. You know, this guy, you came from North Carolina, came to California to start your paintball career because you knew you had to make that step, right? Oh, why don't you come? Well, I'm doing one in Alabama, so meet me in Alabama. You know, like that's the central meeting point.
I'm the best. Come to me and I'll show you.
Have you thought about doing somewhere more central, like Antarctica?
Yeah, I was thinking, thinking that would be really good for.
What about like Greenland, bro?
Yeah,
you think of like Greenland? Yeah.
Or maybe.
Hey, Oliver.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
Hey, where can people go to find the schedule and where the events are going to be held?
So we have like individual posts on Instagram for the tour locations and the dates. And then the way that it's being done is like, you know, and again, this is a process of learning. But like, so for instance, like for North Carolina, you know, Tyler knows 16 guys and he's like, okay, hey, come, you play, right? And it's kind of like a little bit of an invite for the duel. Like, so if you think you're eligible to win the duel, you should probably already know the field or of contact within somewhere around that area that you can just, you know, have some credibility. Hit the dude up.
Get in there,
So that's how that's kind of working.
Hold on. I'm the baddest dude in Moldova.
Yeah.
And I'm going to win as long as I want to make the trip for you because you're making the trip for me. Right?
Right.
But I need to know that it's happening to make the trip for you. Otherwise,
that's
I'm just going to
complain. So part of it's marketing.
Yeah. So we just Instagram is
I'm learning.
Instagram on
tell the story.
Yeah. So like marketing. Also, I'm learning that there's a lot of unfortunate obstacles in the paintball world now where they're like, oh no, you're doing it at that field. Like my field's over here, you know, and it's like, I don't go to that field. But like, you have to really let go of those things in these types of situations, you know, and just really say, I'm going to go to that field and play for this event because this is for my paintball career, my paintball start.
Well, also like let's just say, cause this is a thing in paintball, but let's just say you're in a town or a city where like you're a badass one-on-one dueler, but the event's happening at this other one. Dude, bury the hatchet, send your hero to that other team.
To represent.
To represent, because if the guy gets in and he wins at that opposing field, like, that's going to give you...
That's what I'm saying. Like,
dude,
in
come on.
Europe,
We're playing chess, not checkers out here, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
like in Europe, I can't go to every field. So the field that was picked was, you know, somebody that I know from the Dynasty Champs Club. And, you know, he was like, hey, I want to do it at my field. Let's set it up. Great. French guys are calling me now, and they're like, why don't you do it in France? I'm like, well, sorry, this was the field chosen. They're like, well, that's very far. And I'm like, it's honestly an hour-long plane flight.
The
Like,
Europeans, it's too far thing.
This
drives
is too
me
far.
crazy.
I know.
This is not possible.
As a Californian that has had to drive, like, at one point in time, in 1 year when we were trying to beat you guys with excessive, we had to drive Northern California like 15 times. And that's a 7.5 hour drive one way. I have zero sympathy for people that aren't willing to travel.
You should also say you should try flying from Bali.
Like, it's not too far.
To
Yeah,
Thailand,
Well, yeah.
to the U.S., to Canada, to
Europe is too
Mexico.
far. Stop.
And then
Stop
Ryan
with the
said
bullshit.
we should have him drive to Bali.
Yeah, they should drive to Bali.
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, Ryan,
Bali is very far.
if anybody is interested, you have to get in contact with the fields that are participating. There's 3 in the U.S. There's 1 in Canada. There's 1 in Mexico for this North American area. Figure it out, you know, call SC Village, call Todd Martinez, you know, like get on it, you know. Alabama is Paintball Prime, you know, Mikey plays
Which
McGowan?
Not anymore, no.
Okay.
Used to for a while.
Did you know who Mike McGowan is, Ryan?
Yeah.
He's the kid that I bunker in the Serial Killers
No way.
at the very end. And now he plays on Iron Man.
Dude
Did he
shoots an
went
autocopter
down?
faster than anyone.
And
I've
now
ever
he's
seen, bro.
really good. And he told me this last year in Alabama.
That was
And he's like, hey, I'm the guy that you bunkered. I'm the kid that you bunkered in the video. And I was like,
yellow jersey.
and then we all had a big hug.
In a
Yeah,
yellow jersey?
yeah. But he was like 16. I was like 19.
Yeah.
He was like this big. I was
Yeah.
like this big. But now we're like the same age, you know, same height, same age. Once you get to a certain age, age just goes away anyways.
I have a question. Have you thought? Do you want to hold one for pros?
Yeah, so this is the plan. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. I wanted to talk to you. I called Maddie. Maddie's like, yeah, if you're a pro, text me on Instagram. Maddie doesn't return my text messages on Instagram.
No,
so,
hold on. No,
okay, anyway.
no. The situation is when I got to talk to Oliver, I have to carve out 2 hours,
Okay.
and I'm a dad, and I got a chick going
Okay,
on.
fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
So this year the grand finale is going to be in Thailand, okay, in Bangkok, okay, and I've got an amazing sponsor who's a banker. A bank is going to put in a large amount of money. My plan is this, and this is actually, thank you for asking this. So there's going to be the Search for the Best grand finale on Saturday, okay. The world are going to come to compete for the Search for the Best, right? There's also going to be a pro invitational. And I'm going to pay all the pros their airfare, their food, their accommodations. I'm going to give them cash, and I'm going to put up a large cash prize for them so they cannot say no to me. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to sell tickets, something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
I'm going to sell tickets about to come to the grand finale as a spectator, and you're going to get entrance to the joust. You're going to get free entrance to the joust. And it's seminar plus autograph signing and photos
Where is
signing.
this going to be?
Bangkok.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Your favorite place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then they're going to get front row seats to the invitation. To the grand Search for the Best in the world, and front row seats to the invitation.
Wow.
So that's going to be, that's on the docket. That's
Might
going to
need
be
to do
December.
pay-per-view for
December.
that.
Yeah, there's going to be that too.
All
It's
right.
going to be December 4th through the 8th in Bangkok, Thailand. So stay tuned for more information on that as that starts to roll out.
That's what we have.
So what do you say? What do you say about the this comment?
Who do you
here?
think? Who do you think my top 16 or sorry? So what's also going to happen is there's going to be 14 pros. Okay, sorry, 12 pros, and then 4 of the heroes from last year. So Jacob Johnson's going to have entrance. Tommy Greenleaf's going to have entrance. Travis Newsom's going to have entrance, and
Oh, that's cool.
Chris Caputo's going to have entrance. And then top 12 pros handpicked in. So tell me, who do you think the top 12 should be on the chat? Give me the top. Give me your, put a couple names in there. It's going to be hard for me for Dynasty because I want to bring Ryan. I want to bring Marcelo. I want to bring Archie. I want to bring Alex. I want to bring everybody. So I can't bring everybody on Dynasty.
I'm going to put mine down.
Bring you, So yeah, let us know. So that's the plan. Ryan,
I'll come. I'm sure Camille will be.
How to?
Camille will be all right with that.
But you mean there's a lot on the line, and you're gonna win it.
Yeah. I'm in it. What do you say to this comment here from Mudhands? The duel doesn't equal the best players in the area, but it equals the best players out of who the host field invites.
Well, I mean, the thing is the host field has an edge in the sense, yes, to invite. But if you feel that you're a good player in the area, then you should have. We're going to be invited to that. So the thing is to be honest, a lot of people think they're eligible for the duel, and they're not.
Yeah.
Like, you're not good enough to play, and I'm sorry to say that. So you have to make your eligibility. You have to become validated to become eligible. And so this is kind of the process of this is making. People say I've had people message me on Instagram. They're like, "How do I get invited?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, no. To be honest, like, you probably shouldn't be invited because Ryan, it's like, who's the best players in SoCal? I don't know, but the guys at the paintball field, they know, right? They're there every day. They see the best guys out there, whoever's playing, and they're like, hey, you've got this invitation, right? So, like, as a player, just anybody who's listening who wants to make a mark in the world in the paintball, literally become visible, like connect with the field owners, make friends, become noticeable and get the invitation. That's a big part of it. Like when we used to play, Ryan, it was like, going to Mare Island, like we had to meet Eric and we had to meet all the guys so that we became invited onto the teams that they were working with, right? And that's how you start your career, right? It's the same thing with you. Yeah. You had to show up to the field, you were a runt, and then all of a sudden, now you're getting picked up on gridlock, and now you're getting picked up on trauma, now you're getting picked up on. Yeah. If you're not seen, I'm sorry, but you're probably not.
I mean, that's what I had to do. You remember when I first got on Ironman, I was dog shit, and I just had to be like, hey, like, show me, can I go to the field and do drills with you? And I didn't even know you that well at the time, and you're like, yeah, I guess you're gonna help me with this fucking
video. But that's how it works.
Yeah, like you have to ask, like, and
show up.
Yeah, and network and be like, yes.
That guy, then you have the joust, and you show up to the joust. Everybody's eligible. Pros to rookies to first timers can play, and then you network and you meet people, and the next year you get an invitation, or the year after that. Also, the future is the HORMESIS Elite one-on-one app. I don't know if you guys have that yet. And if you get it, what you can start to do is you can start to practice and get credit and start to be in different levels of statistics in there. And so, hey, that's another way, right? And in the future, to answer your question, Ryan, I'm going to be able to look at a field and see who the best players are in that area because I know that they're playing in that area, right? And they're going to have the statistics from that area. And then I don't even have to go there anymore and find them. I can just look.
No, sorry, there's a little audio loop. There we go. We're good.
All right, I got some my 12, I think.
Give us your 12.
Tyler Harmon, J Rab, Mouse, Archie, Jacob Edwards, Malloy, Greenspan. No offense, Ryan, I don't think you're the best one-on-one player, but you got to have Greenspan there.
Thanks, dude.
A-Rod, Fedorov, Arturo.
Yeah.
Because the most unique snapshot in the league.
So good.
For the pros that would be in it. And then probably Axel. And then I'm trying to think off Impact, but I would maybe give it to Brandon Cornell.
I like that.
Well, dude, Brandon Cornell is one of those guys who's just been getting the lion's share of the spins for Impact for so long. And I think people, like, yeah, he lost to Jacob in that one-on-one, but
and he does more drills.
He's a beast, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Brandon Cornell's a beast.
I mean, Mikey too could be up there.
Mikey. So look, dude, you're forgetting two people that I think are really important on this. That are, one of them may not be eligible, but Be Short. I don't know if he's allowed to go and play this, but
why would he not be?
I don't know if Be Short's something to do that.
No, Be Short. I asked Be Short, and
So
Be Short just ghosted me because he's so HK now. He's like,
but here's the one, Nick Laval.
Yeah, Nick Laval too.
Nick Laval won. Nick Laval won 2 of the one-on-one events when they used to host them out in Europe, and he's good. He's good.
No, I played Nick Laval in the first one that I did also, and he's an exciting character to play against also. You know, because it's also a little bit of name. This is kind of UFC in a sense. I like Brandon Cornell, but he doesn't have the name as
Malloy, as I was writing to, he might not go.
No, Malloy's definitely got to come. Like
but he might not go.
Yeah, but if there's money, it's like he's a professional. If you're a professional, and there's money at stake.
Yeah, you're going.
Then you
well, that's what I'm saying is I'm doing it in such a degree that you can't say no to me. You know, like if I'm like, hey, Tyler, here's $2,000, here's an airplane ticket, here's $20,000 on the line. Yeah. If he says no, I'm gonna be like, dude, you are literally, you're lame as fuck.
Well, no, but also it's like if Tyler's got 2 kids, and the thing is like he's got to go to his lady. Same with Malloy, right? So he's got 2 kids, goes to his lady and be like, hey, there's $20,000 on the line.
Maddie,
I'm really good at this, and they're paying me $2,000 to show up. So it's like the UFC. What is the deal here, bro? You're like,
we have bugs,
bugs. Hey, you're a sniper with that, dude. You're like the flying one-on-one champ over here.
I'm like Federer over here with this thing.
But the thing is, again, if you're a professional and you're doing a job, and someone's like, "Here's a job for your profession," and it's like the UFC. You get a certain money to show up, and you get a certain money to win. Then you have to take a hard look at that, and your significant other, whoever's in your life. It depends. If you're single, that's your own decision. But if you got family, you got kids, you got to go to Thailand. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
Like, but if they're like, "Hey, significant other, here's the situation," and you paint the picture in a way, then they're like, yeah, go do that. Because then if you could bring home all that money, you know, and like that's, even if it's just the $2,000, like that's $2,000 for a weekend, bro. Like that's, you know, of course they're gonna do that.
You know, speaking of UFC, I wanted to bring up a point that we were talking about earlier. That another thing that's like so beautiful about the sport, where like we were talking about, you know, the simulation of war in a sense, but not war, is it also. I feel like paintball and UFC are probably the only thing that, and I've asked numerous people this because I'm interested in it. Like when you're playing in the middle of like a tournament, you don't, or even like practice, anything that's elevated, like you don't think about anything else while you're in that moment of playing, like actually engaging. Mm-hmm. You like, even if you try,
it's a flow state.
Yeah. I remember like there was one thing that
football's probably like that.
In the down,
like when it starts,
But then they're on the sidelines.
But think about like, you know, tennis where you have some downtime, or, you know, in baseball where you have a lot of downtime. You're walking. Yeah, just like
a lot of sports have that element, depending on the sport. But what's the kind of question?
No question. I just think that that's like another big, beautiful thing about paintball is it's so intense. Intense and very meditative in the sense that like everything is out the window in that moment.
It's I've heard a lot of these, I'm sure everyone has over the years, like the paintball saved my life stories. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that of a couple elements. One, the camaraderie, you know, the brotherhood, or, you know, sisterhood now too, with the females playing. But a lot of it is, you know, the brotherhood. So you get with your people, you're trying to achieve a goal. There's an organization behind it. It gives you a cause beyond yourself. And then, when you in the middle of that point, because dude, when you're playing football, like you're trying to smash that dude, not get smashed. Like, but a paintball point, like a football down, is a very quick thing.
Yeah.
A paintball point could be 17 seconds long, but it could be 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
And that whole 8 minutes, and I remember one of my good friends, he's back in the day when I first started playing, he didn't really quite get it. He's like, what is it about paintball you love so much? And I'm like, man, there's just something about the game when I drive home at the end of the day after playing all those games. This is like 10-man days when I was a teenager, but I'm like, nothing else matters. You know, like I'm driving home. It's such peace with the world. You know, it's just, if you got a ticket, whatever, like, doesn't really matter what else is going on around you. The volume on all that gets turned down. Again, the gifts of the game. We talked earlier about how I really believe in paintball as a force for positivity in the world, if treated the right way. But the flow state that is achieved when you're in the middle of a duel, when you're in the middle of a point, when you're in the middle of a big game, it doesn't matter what type of paintball we're talking about, whether it's recreational, and you're playing a 20-minute recreational game, or a giant battle, a big game, there's 2,000 people on a side, it's one-on-one, whatever. It's so intense And so in
You
the
have no room
moment
to think of.
that your entire being is shoehorned into that specific cosmic moment,
Yeah.
and you are totally laser focused on what is happening with that. And but the benefits and the dividends that pays beyond that moment is very profound.
For sure.
And so that, I think, again, is why I love this game so much, why I want to be a prophet and advocate for this game, and why a lot of these other ways to play it, like, you know, it's like if you're going to be a dope surfer, you know, it's like, yeah, you can go shred a little wave and do like a lot of aerobatic shit, but like, can you go surf a big wave? Can you do paddleboard? Can you do all these different things? Like with paintball, it's like, there's a lot of ways to do this.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want to do it is totally cool. There's just so much positivity there, especially in a world that wants to just, and is covered in pillows as we possibly can. So yeah, I agree 100%, man. The flow state that exists, especially in tournament paintball, because even when you get in the middle, so it's like if you come off a point and you got, you know, that 2 minutes in true X ball, minute and a half, whatever, and it's like, all right, we got to talk about this game plan, and we got to figure this out, and then boom, you got to air up, you got to gear up, you got to wipe your shit off, wipe your hits off, like stretch a little, whatever, get back out there.
Yeah.
It's like that whole
moment, like in the pit, like put something wrong, and I'm like, no, I got it. Like, or I say something that comes off as rude, and I don't have time there. But then, like, as soon as the match is over, I'm like,
dude,
I come back and I'm like, hey, I didn't mean it like that, and I didn't know it in that time.
But even for the guys in the pits, because even the guys in the pits, it's like if you're pitting for like a, you know, if you're in the pit or whatever, if you're in a, you know, if you're putting the tires on a, you know, a race car, it's like you got to like that stuff, that moment, right? Like you like train for that. Give me your gun. Hey, Spicka, I got, how many pods you need? What's our time left? How many points we got? Give me 6. You know, they got to make sure they get the right batch, the right type of pods. It's like all of that, you know, that beautiful ballet that's happening, that synchronicity that's all going on.
I just find that, like, I find it, like, really fascinating that there's, I mean, that's why I said UFC, because I don't think, besides, like, actual, where you're in a fight with someone, where, like, nothing else in my life, I'm like, holy, so involved in the present moment.
But if you've done like you know, I've done wrestling, I've done jiu-jitsu, I've done boxing. It's like somebody's literally trying to knock me out.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to choke me out. Like, and then you do paintball, the bite of the reality is very similar, because your brain, you know, you're getting shot at, you know, so it's like your brain, especially when you first start to play, and that's actually one of the parts of mastery of the game, is when you take yourself out of the fight or flight and you start processing, die, you know, you're exerting your will upon your opponent.
Yeah.
And then that's also an addicting thing, because, and this is one of the things that, having done a lot of military training stuff, where we're using simunition rounds, or, you know, it's like I'm sitting in a dark house, in a kill house, and the door's about to kick in, and I'm about to get attacked by like 6 recon Marines or SEALs, you know, like that's a gnarly moment, right?
Yeah.
And it gives you this kind of zen, you know, because it's like, there's no changing this. I've signed up for this. Like, this is what's about to go down. Moments gives you a lot of power when you get on the other side of it, because it's definitely frightening, and I don't care how many times you've done it, you know, like whether it's nerve-wracking because greatness is expected out of you. I mean, if you're some sort of psychopath that can completely detach from like what's happening, like, God bless you.
Yeah,
that was never me.
I always say
that was never me, dude.
I always tell teams too, the thing that you told me was like, try to touch your, like, when teams are having trouble communicating or seem too flustered. Back on Dynasty, it was like, in the middle of the point when you guys are playing, touch the tongue to your top of your mouth. I'm like,
well, these are these things, like, you can do these in your life. It's just a remembrance of presence, right? Because your mind might go to something else, and then you start to fixate. So you could be in the kill house, thinking how these 7 guys are going to get in and, you know, get you, or you're like, okay, I'm here right now. Like, I don't care what happens, you know, like, I'm here.
But depending,
but
depending on the type of mentality for me, because like it was disconnect completely. It was like, this is what's happening. But it was more of embracing that specific moment and being, look, we live mostly very tame lives. You're driving from point A to point B. You're doing this mundane thing. You're doing dishes, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know, but this is a moment that is a crescendo, you know, as you go up, and when you're listening to a song and the song builds and it builds and you get that payoff, whatever, dude, pick your metaphor.
Yeah.
You know, but it was more of, to me, when, you know, because I got to be on air when we do these shows.
Sure.
you know, for like we did a day. So Friday was an 11-hour broadcast day. So it's like I have to be on and mentally focused and try to maintain a certain level of enthusiasm and intensity for 11 hours in a row. And
Yeah, that's so.
you know, so but with that experience comes a certain power, you know, where you kind of just lean into the experience and there's no out. Like I know, like when they're like, all right, Matt, we're going live in 10 seconds, and you hear that countdown, 10, 9, and it's like I can't tap out. I can't say I can't do this. I can't be like, give me another minute. Like I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
You just have to just sit there in that pressure situation, in that cooker, you know, that pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And just lean in.
Sure.
And just be like, fuck it, here we go. And try to enjoy it, because how many opportunities in a normal life do you have to really embrace that type of situation?
Yeah. Yeah.
So rare, whether it's you're playing the point or whatever the fuck it is, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and this is why, you know, people hate, you know, public speaking, but the thing is that you get these rare moments to just be, it's like, dude, be amazing today. Allow yourself to be amazing today. You know, like, let's go, be your best self today. And you just give yourself those positive affirmations and you just lean into the experience. And then sometimes, like, you know, you feel that rush of whatever, nervous energy, anxiety, whatever, however you want to describe it. So many words to describe it. Lean in that as like a superpower.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, oh, here's the superpower. Like I'm getting, you know, like when you watch the cartoons and the superhero gets like energized, right? That happens in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens when you play paintball. It happens when you do these things. And you have a choice. When that energy overtakes you, you can be intimidated by it, or you can just lean into that moment and be like, here we go.
Yeah.
Let me allow myself to be great today. Let's do this, you know? And it's like, don't mistake the for, it's like embracing, because one day all this ends.
Yeah.
Like one day you will not be able to play anymore. One day my voice won't work, whatever. Like that day will come. Whenever it does come, it's inevitable. And so understanding the finality of these things, whether it's the play, whatever the fuck it is in your life, you know, like, and just embracing this, like, you know, it's like when we walk out into a field and you see a beautiful flower, that flower is going to die in a couple days, but it's beautiful for that day. So let me be beautiful for this day, you know? That, okay.
I think we end on that.
That was beautiful right there.
Hey, do you need this?
Oh,
Dude.
I'm selling some jerseys. Can I give a little shout out to these?
Oh, yeah,
jerseys I want to
yeah.
sell.
No,
I'm parting with a little bit of my archive. This was a box that was found in my parents' garage.
I'll take it.
It literally says Matt's paintball jerseys on the side of it, and it's quite yellow. And I just have like all these.
Do you have prices on them yet or no?
No, I don't. I mean, they're all like Grail jerseys, but like,
All right.
some of these I'm not gonna sell.
All right, let's start an auction. Ryan,
Do you?
first exhibit A, we've got Matt Marshall from
Dude, how dope would that one
2000
be in the
Iron
background
Man, where he played
Say again,
behind
Ryan?
me
Yes.
as we won the World Cup.
That one.
Number 8, Diablo,
That one.
and die cutting.
That one I'm probably not gonna sell, but I have some of these other ones.
Hey, good practice.
Okay,
Good
Ryan,
practice.
we'll
Good
start
practice.
the bidding at $10,000. How about that, Matty?
He pulls out the jerseys like, yeah, I might sell them. If someone wants to give me $10,000.
Oh, we got $10,001 by Rob, $10,002 by Crazy Canoe.
But yeah, I just realized that like I live in San Diego. I'm never really gonna have a trophy room, and so like some of these I just need to sell because like I need to pay for like shit around my house.
Oh man, dude.
But that's
That
like
one's
so
dope.
I'll take one of these.
That one's
yeah, but
dope.
that's the one from Push. But I got that was the
Yeah, if you
How much
can't,
is one?
if you can't sell them,
I
we'll rock them.
I don't know.
I'll give you $100 cash right now. How much?
I get a couple of snooze and some nectar.
How much? How much are the?
But I'm gonna sell. I have two. But I only thought I had one original excessive jersey, but now I have two because of this fine from my parents.
So you bought this box
This
and
is
you're
from
only,
Heroes
you're
a
only
Day.
selling
This
one of the
stuff's
jerseys.
not serious.
I got a bunch of them. I mean, and
Yeah.
there's like.
Hey
These
guys,
are
I got some
serious
stuff for sale. Check
He's
it
not
out. I'm not
selling any
selling
of them.
anything.
No, I'm selling.
No,
I don't really know. They're kind of.
Oof.
You know,
This is from the JT movie, right?
Yeah. Sick.
That might be the one I want.
Anyway,
That one's pretty dope.
but yeah. I don't really know exactly. Like, I might put them on Paintball Vault. I'm not really sure, but I just am probably gonna sell some of these. I just have so many of them now. And
Why
I'm just
don't
like,
you
I need to
figure
do
it
this.
out and
So-
then we'll talk about it.
So you're not putting a price up now, is what you're
Well, I don't know. It's not gonna be a price.
saying.
It's like
Can we
it's
get a bid?
like-
Hit Maddie. If someone wants to get, I know a couple guys that would probably want your jerseys. How do they get a hold of you? Do they just try to?
Hit me up on Instagram, or if you know somebody that has my phone number, then hit me up. If not, I'm probably gonna put them up for some sort of.
Dude, I got your phone number right here, bro.
Call them.
I got your phone number right here. Let me put it in the chat.
Off hours of the night.
Yeah.
Well, if it's text, it's different. If I got to jump on a 3-hour phone call, then that's gonna be different.
I mean,
yeah.
This one's
the win, dude. I was right behind you in that win, dude. I still remember that one. But this one, so there's a few I'm not gonna sell. Yeah, I know that with the misspell too. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. What? Hey, good show. It ended up being. It was a shit show in the beginning, but it ended up being pretty good, dude.
Yeah. And I apologize. You know, usually Kyle's on the ones and twos down there, and I'm on the lousy Wi-Fi up here. You guys sound great. I just want to say that you guys sound beautiful. The only thing that salvaged the show was this little backup microphone that I bought. But thank you guys. I appreciate you coming out. Obviously, anytime. Oliver, I wish you were in town a little longer. So
I'll see you at practice.
I'll see you at practice. I can't wait.
Yeah, dude, there we go. Hey, the last time Oliver played, he won a motherfucking MVP.
That's
dude.
what we're talking about.
I played in Philly.
That's right. That's right.
But I
We
did
got relegated.
These guys, the last guy I shot, so maybe I just retired.
Yeah. And I'm also giving away this Trump pen to.
We'll throw that in with one of Maddie's
Maddie's jerseys. It might boost the value. It might devalue it. I don't know. Who knows?
I think a lot of people take that.
But
somebody will buy that Trump pen off you, dude.
But speaking, I don't even know where I got this. So speaking of winners, just due to the length of the show, I just went ahead and spun the wheel for one lucky winner who's gonna win a Spick and Span doghouse. I'm sorry, the Spick and Span, doghouse headband, which is the tan clouds. You have one hanging there? Nope. That's Tuesdays. That's called Tuesdays.
This one?
That one's Tuesdays. I guess we got a lot of Tuesdays.
Which one's the doghouse?
The clouds
Please
one.
tell me an actual doghouse icon on it. That's so
wish.
dope.
It's the other one. The one that's not
The
all
one
blue.
I have.
Well, anyway, Ryan Kinnenberg is going to win it. Ryan Kinnenberg wins it. It might be in there. Open that thing up. See what's in there.
Oh, you mean the tan color?
Yeah, there was only two, so, you know. If you do want to get one, I think there's like 5 headbands left. You can go to the Spick and Span Show website, and the promo code is Glizzy Lips.
How do you spell that?
You got to give this away too.
Two Z's. Glizzy Lips. You can see the
Like,
discount.
Glizzy, Glizzy.
Yeah. I'll show you what it looks like.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? It means hot dog lips, I think, is like the real translation here.
Like a throwback, dude.
But it's so heavy compared to like.
No, I know, but like I love that.
That's the way. That's how I like
I feel
it.
like the gear is too fucking tight now. It's too light. Like you used to have to wear shit. It was heavy, and that was like part
I
of
think
the
that might be the best part about what's going on now is the light.
I know. Just let me just revel
The
in
hockey fans.
nostalgia.
Let's bring hockey fans back.
In case you were wondering what Glizzy
We could
Lips are,
fans die that was cool. Then the Russians.
I went ahead and threw it up on the.
Be able to run as fast.
Yeah. In case you were wondering what Glizzy Lips meant, I went ahead and threw it up on the chat.
They also the other new nickname for Alex is Alex Fragile.
That's Ben.
Oh, that's Ben.
Yeah.
Fragile.
Yeah, fragile.
Fragile. It's Italian.
Yeah, it's Italian.
Italian.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking it out, everybody who did. I think this is. I mean, the episodes get better. The quality of the production, it wavers, but we're still standing, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
I'll help you figure it out.
Content. It's all about just getting some sort of content.
Everyone says you're a boomer, and I'm not boomer status yet. So let me. I'll get in here and work on the tech.
Yeah.
I thought you were way better than tech at me, but maybe I need to have
I
a look
get
at
it. I just the Wi-Fi, the sound. I mean, there's got to be something that does the thing without the things, the headphones. But we'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. But until then, thanks everybody for coming.
Peace. Love you guys.
Maddie, we'll be live like hopefully every Tuesday between then and now. So we'll pump that show. We got your back, dog.
Love that.
We'll pump everybody.
Happy 4th also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
happy 4th. Love
yeah.
everyone out there. Props to the community.